Welcome, everyone, to our newest show on 4TW Network. The show is called Comic to Sell. My name is Chris. I also go by Cardi. I'm actually the host of the show. And I'm joined with my cohorts, which you know, Admiral Joker, Matt. And we also got Mario crying over blah blah blah.
Just call me Mr. Bane.
Yeah, exactly. And also joining us for the first time, and he will be a regular on this show, is the man, the myth, the legend. His name is John.
Hello.
John just like, hello. He's like, dude, come on now. All right, so let's get things rolling here. Now, the way this show is going to work, and just to give you everyone listening a synopsis, the show is basically about everything involving comic world transitioning to TV and film and movies. And it's both animated and non-animated. So we kind of cover a whole world. We do tend to focus on certain things, some more current, and then we also will talk about some old school stuff too. So we kind of like to keep things mixed up. Bane. God damn you. Anyway, you got that stuck in my head now. And bat nipples. But anyway. So yeah, anyway. Best worst Batman movie ever. So, to get started, the first thing we're going to go over is a top 5 of just topics relating to film to sell. Or, comic world and film to sell. Anyway. So, the first topic, and I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, that Sony is actually pitching around an idea to do a... it's so hard to say this. I can't believe they're going to think about doing an Aunt May movie, an actual Aunt May movie, about her early years when she was a young woman, kind of doing something like...
Didn't correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they do this in comics?
Yeah, they had an Aunt May thing. They also had a thing, and John probably remembers this, where Aunt May became Spider-Man. If you want to provide your own info, what you know, John.
I don't remember that, but most of what I remember of Aunt May's youth was mostly in flashbacks, especially when she started going a little senile in the old days when he was still wearing the symbiote. And that was at some point, but I can only think of Forrest Gump when I think of Aunt May youth.
Pretty much. What, Matt?
I remembered what it was. Trouble. There was a mini-series called Trouble, which is supposed to be... I have to show you the cover of this if you read this. And I read about this a while. I never read the comic, but I do remember seeing this.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what it kind of reminded me of. And I'm like, the comic says... the cover says everything.
And by the way, I agree with what Matt said. We talked about this earlier in the week when we mentioned this topic. It would be awesome, and it would only be awesome under one condition: if Uncle Ben is actually Burt Reynolds, and it was basically the undertone was it's a Smokey and the Bandit movie. That would be the only way this thing would be awesome. I think anyone would watch that shit.
Aunt May and Uncle Ben being Bandit. I think everybody would watch that. That would be awesome.
I'm telling you. And that would be the only way it would be something. But anyway. All right. So the second topic is actually one thing I'm really happy about. Big Hero 6 is kicking everyone's ass in theaters, including Interstellar. Have you guys seen it yet? Who's here has seen it? Anybody?
Not yet.
Yeah, I figured. And in actuality, none of us here have actually seen it. I'm going to go see it tomorrow. But I know my son has seen it, said it was awesome. Everyone I know, people that I trust their opinions on who have seen it, it gives you a lot of that feel of what you saw in Wreck-It Ralph, where there's a lot of tear-jerking a little bit in there, a lot of laughter, just a well-done movie. And of course, loaded down with plenty of Easter eggs. Involving Marvel and Disney. So, I mean, I can't be happier, honest to God. What do you guys say, Matt?
It's directed by the guy who directed Bolt. Which
Exactly.
Bolt was actually pretty decent.
It was. It was a decent movie that I think didn't give as much props that I think it deserved. I think a lot of it is because Miley Cyrus did a voice in it. Maybe.
Question for you guys: do you think there
no.
are any Marvel properties that they would be able to take and do this to not make part of the MCU? What properties do you guys think that Marvel should go and say, let's make this into a standalone movie, not trying to tie it into the big MCU universe, just some nice standalone movie? Well, what properties would probably be ripe for that picking?
Doctor Strange.
That one's already tied to MCU. Then it's coming out.
It's hard to say. To be honest, I would have said Inhumans until everything that's happened on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. currently, and everything and of course they're going to do a movie and going into Phase 3.
Oh, so Sherlock's going to be Doctor Strange, John.
Yeah, Cumberbatch.
Mr. Cumberbatch.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Perfect.
I think he's going to do really good.
Yeah.
If it's anything like he's doing anything like in Sherlock, I think he's going to be a really good Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Oh hell yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's going to be something else. So, yeah. So the bottom line is Big Hero 6. I'm so glad to see that this is the first Marvel Disney animated joint venture that's been done on theaters, and the fact that it was a success just means that more good things to come out of the whole deal, and I'm happy. And it's hard to really pinpoint anything that wouldn't be part of MCU because I don't know. It would have to be something offshoot. You know what I mean? Something that's not.
Which Big Hero 6 is pretty obscure.
It is because it's not. It's DC, but it's like it was a part
Marvel,
of.
You mean?
I mean Marvel. It was part of Marvel's like off. You know, they have a lot of different. You know, like I just had a good example in my head and it just totally just slipped.
Who was that?
I can see the picture of the comic in my head. I just can't think of the name.
Who was that Canadian team that Wolverine traveled with?
Yeah, okay. This was something Squad. Fuck, I can't think of the name now. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're considered the Canadian Avengers.
Yeah,
They say A and a boot a lot.
Oh, they have with Dingo and stuff, and
Dingo and
Dango.
Yeah.
Oh, I know him.
And
It's-
Puck and
If you give me
Tango.
2 yeah, God, that I know exactly who you're talking about, and the name just totally slips in my mind right now. It'll be one of those things we'll remember later.
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight. There you go.
They're talking about making an Alpha Flight movie, but I
Come
think that's
on.
a Fox.
Come on,
property.
that might be a Fox. See, how can they man? Fuck Fox. Anyway,
Alpha Flight and X Force, if I remember right. They were talking about that. I know X Force is happening.
anyways, let's just hope that whatever they do next is along the lines of Big Hero 6. Let's just hope that. So, now the third topic is going to actually be involved with, and thank you Chrome for crashing at the most perfect time.
Yeah, it's
Matt,
Chrome.
what was the third thing? Hold on.
Okay, so Batman versus Superman is going to have scenes shot in IMAX.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
I'm not really surprised. I mean, they did it with Batman. A lot of movies are being shot with IMAX cameras now, so they could justify making people go to an IMAX theater in 3D and being charged $50 for a goddamn movie ticket.
And then on
Yeah,
Blu-ray, your movie goes
exactly.
from 21:9 to 16:9, 21:9 to 16:9.
You mean
Exactly.
235?
Yeah, your 235, and then
exactly.
it goes from your wide to your uber wide, and then your wide again, and then your uber wide again.
Actually,
By the way,
it
Matt,
isn't
I got
that
my list
annoying.
back, by the way.
It isn't
Oh,
that
no.
annoying in the
Oh,
Dark Knight Blu-ray.
No, I think
Exactly.
The Dark Knight showed a very healthy way to kind of give you a nice here's how the movie's feeling that way, because you get a better shot doing it this way. But then when you want to get a more if you want to encompass more, we'll fill up the whole screen for you, because that gives you a better notion of the shot.
Yeah, but is it a gimmick? What do you guys think? Is it a gimmick just
Very
to
much
shoot crap
so.
in
If it's
IMAX?
if it's done way too much, I think it could be, but done in just healthy spurts doesn't really ruin the effect.
I really had, I saw, I mean, Dark Knight in widescreen versus IMAX, there's really no big difference on home video anyways. I mean, I saw it in IMAX when I went to theaters, and I was just like, ooh, it fits the whole big giant screen. It looked really cool, but doesn't transition too well to home.
You just wanted an excuse for your headache after you left.
Exactly.
No,
Well,
that was after. No, that was
Dark Knight
Beowulf.
Rises.
Beowulf. I went
Beowulf?
to see in
Oh
my
IMAX
gosh.
in 3D, and that strobe light scene gave me a migraine.
Oh, it gave anybody a migraine. I
It
mean,
was the
that's.
stupidest idea ever.
Oh.
My God,
And speaking of IMAX,
people wouldn't
see,
seizures with that like they do with Pokemon.
see the thing. If you think about IMAX for a second, right? Okay, IMAX is great and all in theory, but really, it's just you got to think of it in almost in simplest terms that it really is only for when you go to the theaters, the movies in theater and IMAX, and then when it's out, guess what? But it's gone, and what does that mean? That means you're not going to get that same IMAX feel at home. So what's the point? You might as well just do high resolution. Would be more, to me, more beneficial than doing,
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I am a director's vision kind of guy. I like to see things in the director's vision, which is why I don't go and see stuff in 3D. So I don't think any director thinks about shooting a movie in 3D. They lie when they say, oh, I saw 3D, and all of a sudden it's like, no, the studio came to you, said, make it in 3D or you can't make the movie because we make all this money off of 3D. You know,
Yeah.
I'll give it to Christopher Nolan. As much as people, I know John didn't care much for the Batman movies. At least he didn't shoot them in 3D, and when they asked him, he said no.
Yep.
Yeah, and Avatar is.
Well,
I think
what about
Avatar
James
is the
Cameron?
only exception. Avatar,
Yeah.
it artistically utilized 3D in a good way. It didn't.
Cameron, he knows what he's
Yeah,
doing.
exactly.
Yeah, cool. It goes because James Cameron was on set with 3D cameras versus as what we've been seeing everyone doing.
So-
you film it post production,
But
then you add
he
the 3D.
also, but you remember, he also utilized new technology in 3D.
Yeah.
And he pretty much.
Well, let's
Yeah.
not get too far off topic here.
Exactly,
But do you guys
but-
think that IMAX is the new 3D?
Yeah.
Ready to
the
be
gimmick
washed
to
out
be-
and
yeah.
gone? Yes.
Exactly.
I say yeah. There's not many movies I want to say I goo goo gaga over just to see it in IMAX.
Yeah, really.
I really don't want to see movies in IMAX. You'll see way too much, and
It's just too much
CG's
money
looking.
and everything.
The CG looks pretty wishy-washy now. Could you imagine seeing Spider-Man 2 in IMAX? Wait, I did see Spider-Man 2 in IMAX.
And on that note, moving on. So, from the shits.
I've made many mistakes
Speaking
in
of
my
movies to coming out as far as at home, as we all know, Guardians of the Galaxy is a few weeks away from coming out on Blu-ray. And exciting news about it is the bonus features are probably one of the best bonus features we've seen out of any. To be honest, out of any Marvel movie so far. It's going to
Howard
have
the Duck short.
Well, you got that. I don't know about a short, but there's the you could actually view even more areas than you could from just what you saw in the movie of the collector's room. Like you could actually go around the whole room and you'll see a lot of Easter eggs, like the slugs from Slither, which was James Gunn's movie. If y'all know Slither,
I love Slither.
he actually managed to get them to put the slugs from Slither in the collector's one of the cages or whatever. Of course, one of the biggest talks besides Howard the Duck is the cell that contains the giant cocoon, which might be Adam Warlock. The way I'm reading it, it is Adam Warlock. They're trying to say that it's not, but the way they're saying it's not, as if they want it to be a surprise, even though they know the cat's out of the bag. I mean, it's obviously Adam Warlock's cocoon, which he's going to play a big. Let's put it this way, okay? They're going to go into Infinite Wars. We already know that. We've seen all the stuff coming up movie-wise. They released recently a couple weeks ago. Adam Warlock is one of the key heroes in the whole story. He's a very pinnacle. And John, you've read the Infinite Wars and everything, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And you could tell these guys what I'm talking about, how pivotal his
Adam
character is.
Warlock was, well, I mean, he was the one who brought together all the gems. He was the main force who could stand up to Thanos. He was a very important character who never got much love from the comics.
No, he didn't. Yeah, and just saying that part right there, he was powerful enough to bring all of this gems together into the gauntlet, which there's not a whole lot of beings that can really do that are that powerful. And what I'm hoping is that we're gonna see more of him maybe in either Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or maybe he'll show up in the Infinite Wars, maybe in Part 1 and or 2. I hope he will be utilized, but the fact that we saw his cocoon in the collector's room tells me there's a good chance he will show up as a primary character off of one of these movies. Yes, he hatches from a cocoon. Yep. If you go, it's hard to kind of follow, but if you go look at the comics on it and read the background on him, you'll see who he is. I mean, he's not like an alien. He's an alien, obviously.
John,
but
did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
sacrilegious.
Yeah,
John doesn't like going to the movie theaters too
Listen,
much.
John has read. He makes up for it in reading the source of the stuff. So I'll give him that. You know.
All right.
Well,
give him a pass.
The collector's scene was just, it was fan service. That was fan service.
It was fan service. Yeah, big time.
I mean, come on. They had a cameo with Howard the frickin' Duck and what the Cosmo, the dog.
Cosmic the dog.
The space
you know who
dog.
He is, right?
I'm
John?
like, wow, really?
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon and Cosmic the dog have a huge history. They hate each other. They hate each other's guts. And it's funny, we never got to see him talk, the dog. We just saw him in a brief scene lick himself and then run away, you know. But, yeah, there's history between him and Rocket Raccoon. I'll just say that.
Did you see the article that Guardians 2 will have nothing to do with the Avengers, probably? Whatsoever?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, and I got to say that's a good idea, because I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to think bigger picture, and what I think they're going to do is they're going to focus more on leading into Phase 3. That's what I think they're going to do, and possibly even past Phase 3.
John, you brought up a good point earlier before the show, saying that the Marvel movies just seem like they're previews for something else, like extended trailers.
They are. They're just really extended trailers for the next movie. Every Marvel movie that's come out recently can be summed up in a 30-minute movie altogether. The original Iron Man, really only about 10 minutes of story. Iron Man 2 was about the same way. If you took out the whole thing with the palladium poisoning, which was pointless, you would have about 15 minutes of story.
Exactly.
It's every one of the Marvel movies basically are just a trailer for the next one. That's why you have to stay through the credits so you can see the next movie.
But you know what? You got to also remember who's leading up the majority of this. Joss Whedon, right? Joss Whedon is the king of, you know,
Whedon, okay.
Let's have everything. Let's take stories. Let's make them long and draw, and then kind of surprise people and have crossovers.
Whedon doesn't have the control that people are now starting to say, "Oh my God," because Whedon's involved. It's getting awesome. No,
I'm not saying he has full control, Matt, but he obviously has a say in a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, Whedon came in during Avengers. He wasn't there for the planning stages prior to that point.
Yeah,
Feig and I don't know if you've ever read the article with Feig. They have a story committee. They have a committee of people that come together and put these stories together. And these are people who are involved in Marvel. It's not like Warner Brothers where it's done by, you know, some executive producer who says, I want a giant fucking spider and Spider-Man fighting polar bears. Yes, that did happen. John Peters. But he got his giant spider, though, not in a Superman movie. Wild Wild West. But, you know, it's a group of people coming together saying, okay, let's plan this out and do it the right way. So, and that's what they're doing. I think they've been doing the movies the right way. But, John, you know what? Guardians of the Galaxy is the first Marvel movie I've seen in a while where it stood on its own. It had little to nothing to do with the Avengers or anything else in the Marvel Universe other than an Infinity Gem being the MacGuffin.
Yeah, the Infinity Gem and the fact that the Collector was involved and that he had some involvement in you know, the end of the Avengers, and also the Thor movie Dark World as well.
And Thanos making a much more bigger appearance than he did in Avengers.
Yeah, you actually get to see dialogue with Thanos, and Dude, I gotta say, John, what they're saying is correct. This is the movie that I think if Marvel could look at the success of it, understand the formula of it, and go, hey, you know what? Let's stop doing what we've been doing, where it's just been a bunch of fluff with like the important stuff just kind of sprinkled in there, and instead make it a real solid story movie. And yes, you could still have your tie-ins and shit like that. But there's a right way, a better way. I wouldn't say a right way, but a better way to do it.
Or just do the DC model of throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that's DC's anyway.
That was called Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. And
oh god.
Oh god. And speaking of,
and it all slid down the wall and made a very nice
and
oozy trail.
Well, okay. And speaking of DC, so we're gonna move on here to the final topic, which is the casting for Suicide Squad. I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's shaping up to be a weird cast. Nonetheless, we've got Tom Hardy is cast in there. We've got Jared Leto is going to play the Joker. We've got a real hot-ass chick who's a real good actor going to play Harley Quinn. And Matt, actually, if you want to take over, because you got a lot of information on it as well.
All right.
So I know you were reading it.
Jared Leto, let me put him up on the big screen here, will be playing the Joker. Now, being the Joker fan that I am okay with this. I know I'm aware of him somewhat, and I know he was in the running in early talks for being the possibly the Joker for The Dark Knight. People were saying, "Oh, he would be perfect for it." Before they, Heath Ledger got casted, and everyone had a shit fit because they're like, "The dude from Brokeback Mountain." Yeah. So I'm kind of okay with that. Then we have this woman who I've never heard of before, but I guess you have. She's on Nashville, I guess. No, it's a different actress. I'm sorry. Playing Harley Quinn here, and I got her picture right here. Her name is Margaret Robbie. She was in Wolf of Wall Street and About Time. So hey, Wolf of Wall Street, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
She's pretty good looking, and by the look of her, I think that's a very good pick as well. Tom Hardy, I think, is supposed to play Flag, supposedly.
Flag, yeah.
And the bad part is Jai Courtney as Deadshot.
Jesus Christ.
Who saw the new Die Hard movie? Any of you guys saw it?
No.
Nope. Jesus Christ, guys! Why did
Jesus Christ
see it?
Jesus.
Okay,
Sorry,
just
John
so you
McClane
know,
said Jesus throughout the whole movie so much that I thought he was going to appear.
Jesus Christ, like 20 million fucking times the whole movie.
It was like, I thought Jesus was going to appear at one point. In fact, if he did, I would have been like, hey, it worked. Jai Courtney, the guy who played John McClane's son and is also in the upcoming Terminator reboot.
Oh, boy.
It's a perfect casting for him since he's a robot.
Yes, and he
robot playing a robot? Yeah, that's...
Hey, the new Terminator movie does have Matt Smith, so,
Yeah,
it's really just it's a tie-in with Doctor Who. He's just timey-wimey, Just
I would.
But John Courtney. Now you guys
the Doctor created Skynet.
yes,
Honestly,
he did.
The thing about Deadshot is that he's kind of he's a weird guy because he's been portrayed a few different ways in the comics. Mainly as being this like smarmy, very egotistical assassin. And also Will Smith is Captain Boomerang. Don't even get me started, man. I hope that's not true. If that's really...
Will Smith will not sign for this movie.
Thank God, because come on, man. I mean, he is not Captain fucking Boomerang, man. I mean, anyway. Just honestly, I think, to sum it up, the Suicide Squad movie... this is just like Matt said, Warner Brothers, DC, throwing shit against the wall, seeing what sticks. This might end up being a good movie. It might not be. Who fucking knows? It's just sad. I don't know about you guys. I know Matt agrees with me, especially being a fan somewhat of some of the DC stuff. Like, Matt's a big fan of Batman. I'm kind of a big fan as well, Batman, as well as Superman, The Flash. I have a lot of DC comics, a lot of arcs that I loved, like the Infinite Crisis. I loved Justice, and of course my all-time favorite, Kingdom Come. Alex Ross is just an amazing artist, and the stories they put together in that, the whole thing from beginning to end it could honestly make, if you want to, like DC wants to do something, here you go. Make a real movie out of Kingdom Come, break it into 3 parts like fucking The Hobbit, boom, there you go. And if they do it right, get the right casting and the right director, that would be a badass. That would be something that they can finally be proud of. And I think any of us here would probably see it.
They've portrayed Suicide Squad a couple of times. They did it on Arrow, somewhat. They did it in Task Force X in Justice League, which was a pretty decent episode, I thought. What did you guys think of that Justice League episode, if you guys remember it?
Weren't there all clones in that one?
Yeah, I remember. I vaguely remember it. Jesus. Fucking.
Yeah. And then they did it. I think they did it in Smallville maybe as well. I don't remember them.
A little bit. They hinted around. They didn't call it exactly Suicide Squad, but they kind of hinted around. That's what it was. Arrow's going to actually get.
I got to take a 5-minute break. They're bringing some stuff in the house, and I got to help them move it real quick.
Oh yeah. Let's take a 5-minute break. It's fine. While he's taking a break here. Oh Jesus, man! I really hope. What is it called? I hope that's not true, what I read. I'm going to look it up again, but they were saying All-Star Batman and Robin was going to be made into an animated...
Wait till Matt gets back. Tell him that. Tell him that.
I already told him. I told him. He was like, what the fuck? Like, how? Yeah, he was already flipping out about that. There's a chance that they're going to do it. Like, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that article again.
You know what show has actually been pretty cool so far? I've been watching The Awesomes.
Yeah, honestly, guys, like as far as shows go, like really, there's a lot of good shows on right now. I would honestly, every show that we're going to talk about on this show is worth watching. But to be honest, out of all of them, in my opinion, the best one is The Flash, hands down. Just because of the fact that you're addressing metahumans for the first time ever in the right way. Mm-hmm. The story is like, I mean, come on, it's like dead on. It's not exactly dead on to the comics, but it's like doing the comics justice for a change.
Oh yeah.
Instead of taking a dump on the material. And then Arrow, I think, is also good too. And I like their approach. Like in this last episode, right? He's fighting with Wildcat for a minute, and he actually, there was all of a sudden, like, he's shooting arrows, and you see on the ground there's boxing gloves. One of the arrows happens to fall into the boxing glove, and guess what happens next? He picks up that arrow that has a boxing glove perfectly on the end and shoots it at him and knocks him down. And guess what you just saw? You just saw the boxing glove arrow in action, which is something that everybody was wanting to see from the Arrow from day one. Is like, when do we get to see the boxing glove arrow? And there it was. Boom. Clear as freaking day. And it was even a boxing glove, coincidentally, that was white and green. And it was it was a perfect shot scene. And they even have it shorted to where you can just watch just that scene online if you look it up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Man, I was just I couldn't believe they did that. That was so, and yeah, it's kind of pandering to fans a little bit, but that's what you want. I mean, you want to see shit like that, but it was done so subtle that it was like kind of funny and cool at the same time. Like it would have been gay if he would have actually created something like the punching arrow, but it was different in some way. You know what I mean? Because I can imagine what I call Smallvilling it. Mm-hmm. And Smallvilling it is a term I've created, which means when you're doing an action, when you're doing a comic to film type story, and you can't think of any clever way, or you don't want to directly copy it from the comics. So what do you do instead? You come up with some even more ridiculous, supposed to be more like if it happened in real life kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And it just comes out looking dumb as fuck. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
It's basically you leave it to the situation. It's almost like, well, let this happen and that happen, and then at the right time, just do it, like you said, subtly.
Yeah.
And then it's executed very differently, but it's executed right.
Exactly. Yeah, and by the way, I apologize for earlier. I actually I was supposed to have a few hours of free time to get everything set up, and everything just kind of happened all at once. My dad came home early, so I had to go deal with some crap, and then when I finally got to my room, it was like it was literally 30 minutes till, and I totally forgot that we were doing the show. Like, that's how much. Don't you hate when you know you got something to do, but then all of a sudden at the last minute you get bombarded with stuff so much that you forget what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Fucking drives me at the wall.
Well, I got a job. I don't know if I told you that already, Chris.
Yeah,
you
did.
Finally got a job.
It's awesome, man. John, where do you work at?
I work for Duke Energy.
Nice.
I do tech support.
You are the devil.
That's right.
No, I'm a contractor.
Still a devil.
That's devil who gets paid.
Yeah, I don't know if Matt told you, he got me a job at his old job, and then what my plans are, I want to get certs so I can go in the IT field and try to make some more money, because it's just, you know, you can't live off of you can't live off of 15 an hour by yourself. You just can't do it.
Well, at least you're getting paid more than me. Mine's only just temporary, but I hear you, buddy. I hear you 100%.
Like,
dude.
Luckily you have a wife and stuff, and I'm assuming she has her own income, right?
Yeah, she does.
And it's good when you have somebody, and really you kind of, when you both have jobs, it's almost as if it's like one big lump sum. You can combine really both together and say, okay, that's how much you're really making. You know, but yeah, when you're solo, it's just.
I know, man.
Sorry about that.
Shit, I know.
Welcome back.
Oh, no, they were moving some cabinet they brought home, and I'm like, you know, I'm recording at 8 o'clock, and they're like, well, they need the space in the trailer because to take stuff to the antique shop. I'm like,
oh, nice.
Anyways, Captain Boomerang.
Catch your breath first, dude. Jesus Christ.
By the way, I was going to say,
you just ran a marathon
about a movie that could possibly be from the current sort of comic world.
Oh no.
They made a video game about it. The Justice or the Injustice for the DC line.
Oh, Gods Among. Yeah, they actually made a movie. Well, it's not really an animated movie. All they did was take all of the. They actually made an animated, like a series of clips that play out through the story when you play the game, and all they did was take all of it and just combined it together, and it's literally like an hour and 20-minute animated movie.
Didn't they kind of do that with Crisis on Two Worlds, and also the they did a Justice League episode?
I'm thinking about a movie or a couple movies based on it.
A movie though, but there is a difference between Gods Among Us and Justice Gods Among Us. There's a difference between that, a big one, and Crisis on Two Earths. The big difference being Crisis on Two Earths had to do with the Earth, I believe it was Earth 2. Yeah, it was Earth 2, which is the Earth that had the injustice, or the crime syndicate, okay?
Right.
This isn't that. It's the Earth, it's actually a different Earth that was, what if Lex Luthor pissed Superman off so bad that Superman kills Lex Luthor because he thought it was for the better good, and the chain of events, Superman becomes this like almost like emperor status, and all the other Justice League members basically have to fall in line, and they all kind of justify being this police state in the whole Earth.
Justice League, A Better World.
Yes, you remember they did it on the Justice, yes. Right? The Justice League animated series did that. Yeah, exactly.
They killed Luthor because he killed the Flash,
Well,
and Superman killed him.
Yeah, but listen, in this Earth though, instead of they replaced, because this is kind of original but kind of not. But what they did differently is Joker basically caused a nuclear explosion that took out almost the entire city of Metropolis. Well, actually, yeah, he took out all of he took out Metropolis. You might as well just say the whole fucking city. He took it out. And as a result of millions getting killed because of that, they blame the superheroes. And Superman, as a result, because Joker was just prisoned for it, he goes and kills him. And basically that starts, it just makes it to where Superman's like, from now on, zero tolerance, and now he's this like emperor status type, king almost of the Earth. Because he feels like he's the father and he needs to, anyway. I don't want to go too off topic. But
yeah. All right. So,
all right, back onto So to finish up,
Suicide Squad.
Let's wait for Mr. Shuffling the Ice to finish.
So, do any of you guys actually kind of looking forward to seeing a Suicide Squad movie?
Suicide Squad movie. Goddamn, it's gonna be. It's either going to be really shitty or it's going to be okay. I do not see it being this amazing movie that's going to blow our minds like Guardians of the Galaxy did. I don't think it's going to do that. It's not going to
be better as a TV show.
You're right, exactly.
Probably.
It would be better.
It would be awesome as R.
To be perfectly honest with you, the way Arrow is setting up the Suicide Squad within Arrow, to be perfectly honest, I would not be surprised if Arrow later down, maybe a couple more seasons down the road, they decide, hey, CW, you know what? Let's go ahead, because Arrow might be wrapping up in a year or two, and let's do a Suicide Squad spinoff.
To be fair, Arrow has done things better, and Flash we'll talk about this later in the episode, but yeah. Arrow and Flash have done things better than they've done on film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And actually, let's go ahead and segue, because I think we're done talking about Suicide Squad. Let's get to now on every episode after we get through the top 5. We're gonna discuss because a lot of us have not seen every episode of every comic TV show that's currently on. Some of us have seen most of them, like Gotham and stuff. But anyways, not all of us have seen everything. So because of that, we're gonna pick 2 of the shows each week. Start this week, we're going to discuss Gotham. Go ahead and finish talking about that, because this show used to be Gotham Cast. So in all fairness, we'll discuss Gotham. And then in the second one we'll talk about, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about Arrow.
And Flash.
And Flash. We want to keep Arrow and Flash together, because really and truly, because they're doing a crossover, they're going to probably do more crossovers in the future. Right. It makes sense just to talk about both in the same sentence. So let's start with the first one then, Gotham. So Matt, you want to go ahead and lead us off, sir? Since I can see you jumping in your seat. You're like, can you guys hear him? You can hear him, right? He's like...
Gotham this week. Did you guys all see Gotham this week? John, did you see Gotham?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So... Yeah. The Mask. I called it.
Yeah.
Oh, did I called it? I called that Black Mask would show up. Not Roman Sionis, but probably his father.
Yeah. And this is probably his father.
Yeah. Apparently, the gist of the episode, Thunderdome job interviews.
Well, if you think about this, Matt,
that is awesome.
Yeah, and if you think about this for a second, okay, obviously that wasn't Roman, right? It's probably his dad.
It's his dad.
Yeah, and they didn't really say it's his dad, but you know what's a good setup for this? For them not even going into specifics? They could do an episode later on to where you find out, there's a son, there's young future Black Mask, and he's pissed because he finds out a cop, not just any cop, but Gordon killed his dad. So when he finds out a cop killed his dad, that just makes a perfect setup for how the Black Mask is in the comics, where he's this ruthless thug that hates law enforcement, hates and makes it a personal vendetta to do everything that's against the law and to be good at it. So,
what did you guys think of this episode particularly?
Loved it.
It's awesome. Yeah.
As stated, just
Thunderdome.
Thunderdoming that thing was just.
John,
was
you're
genius.
kind of new to the show, or you're new to the show. What do you think of Gotham as a whole so far?
Well, as a whole, I think it's being rather successful, except the police drama part. I think they could tone it back a lot. They could stop trying to be CSI, NCU, or whatever it is.
Law and
I would like
Order
to see.
Gotham.
Well, I'd like to see more. As I was telling you earlier, I think that really the star of the show is Bullock. I'd like to see more of him. Otherwise, I do like it. You have a lot of free reign when it comes to the Gotham Police because they've been rewritten so many times, fired, brought back, replaced by new people. That
Sometimes
you can
they're
really
useless. Other times they actually are effective.
Rarely, but you have a lot of free reign with the story. You're not really held by the comics as much.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will say this again, like I say every episode. Barbara Keene, put some damn pants on. Can this woman not wear pants?
Did we all call dibs on this one that she was gone finally?
Yeah, she left, and that was, and you actually called that, Mario. You good job on that one.
Oh, indeed I did.
Yeah.
I must have clapped. I must have gotten up. I got myself a drink, and it said, "Here's to
hated
it.
her.
She is gone."
You hated her.
Pat on the back. And really, I think her character was just done wrong, and I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to step in to replace her as far as.
Oh,
or
she'll
maybe-
come back.
She may come back, but what if
Don't
they
say that.
decide, they want to maybe go towards someone more permanent? But
Maybe
I think
he'll
when
hook
that
up
happens,
with his captain.
well, that or think about this. I mean, this is only the first season, so I mean, this could draw out into many more seasons to come, where it could go back and forth.
Right.
So who knows? But
Well-
yeah, honestly, Gotham, man, it's. I like how it's shaping up. We were talking about this off the show, but I like how Bruce is like when Alfred hands him his dad's watch, and I'm thinking in my head like, what is he doing with the watch? And as soon as he headed over to the kid, I'm like, no, he's not going to brass knuckles, man. Knock that kid out. Which, by the way,
Badass.
the kid he knocks out is, by the way, the name happens to be the name of the future person who's going to be Hush.
It's Tommy
Which-
Elliott.
Tommy Elliott. Which is a nice little Easter egg they kind of threw in there that's Tommy Elliott, the future Hush. So now him kicking his ass and all that kind of stuff is just gonna make him hate, obviously hate Bruce more, hate his family more, and we could see that develop in the future into where he eventually becomes
Now,
Hutch.
what do you guys think of Alfred beginning Bruce's training?
I think it's ridiculous.
I don't know, man, because I will say this. I know Alfred's backstory is kind of spotty all over the place in the comics.
That's a bit of an understatement.
It is.
Yes,
But
there.
the best story I like about Alfred is how he's portrayed as this. He actually was an ex-spy for the British government. That he was SAS. He was this badass. Like he was trained to kill, and that he just retired doing this whole thing. This butler shit is just kind of like his way of getting away from that life. And at the same time protecting the Wayne family as kind of like a bodyguard under disguise,
Right.
Except, have you looked at him in any incarnation? Alfred was never the tough guy.
No, he wasn't.
was the
He was always
smart,
hurt.
quiet
Except
spy.
for Beware the
Yeah.
Batman,
Yeah.
but we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
seriously, Matt, what the fuck?
And now we have an Australian guy who likes pushing around a kid.
Pretty much.
He's
And
also
he's
the son
like,
of the Third Doctor.
Yeah. And he's like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm just waiting for him to be like, all of a sudden we're going to watch an episode of Gotham
Master
where...
Bruce, I borrowed my dad's TARDIS. We
No,
can
listen.
go. I
No,
borrowed my father's TARDIS. We can go save your parents,
Such a
Master
fucking
Bruce.
cornball.
It ain't a
No,
fixed
what I was
point.
gonna listen. What I was gonna say is go even further than that. What I was gonna say is we watch an episode where he's sitting down with Bruce. They're watching like football or soccer, and they're getting plastered off their ass. blowing Azuzaphones and oi, 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 and just doing the whole Australian thing. Just fucking embrace it, you know? Like an Australian.
I don't think
frat
he's
boy.
going for Australian. I think he's going for Cockney, but it's coming off Australian.
It is, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It would be
Yeah.
funny to.
He's no
see him
Eliza
just-
Doolittle. John, why do you think it's ridiculous for Alfred to at least lay the foundation for Bruce?
Because he can. There's several reasons not to. One, Alfred was never like that with Batman. With Bruce Wayne,
No,
he
wasn't.
is a worker. He is an employee. Yes, he has a little bit of free reign, but he doesn't have as much as, say, Dick Grayson does. He does what Bruce Wayne says. He would not lay his hands on Bruce Wayne. It's just, and the idea of teaching him how to fight.
Yeah.
Alfred's not a fighter. Teach him how to be a detective. Start the detective work. Show him the spy. Here's how you keep quiet. Here's what you watch out for.
Now,
Because
that
Alfred
part I
originally
agree with.
was a writer, a mystery writer. When he originally in the original comic started working for Bruce,
Yeah.
he was a writer of
He
mysteries.
was a writer. Yeah. And he was big into like solving crimes and stuff like that. Like that was his hobby. You're right, and I remember that. And I think they're kind of doing that in Gotham, but they're putting more. Now they're throwing this whole spin on it where he's gonna teach him how to like fight and be a badass physically as well as mentally. But I think honestly, like what John's saying, to me, Alfred Pennyworth should be the father figure that he desperately needs, because he needs a father figure because his father's gone, obviously, and his mother. So he needs a strong role model there to teach him things that his dad would, but do it kind of in a nice manner. That's kind of what he did in the comics. This whole spin, they're trying to make him sound like they're kind of pushing more towards this tougher. Yeah, Jason Statham. Yeah,
John in the chat said he's Gotham's Jason Statham.
he's Gotham. Yeah, he's Jason Statham basically.
Master
I mean,
Bruce, we're gonna go kick some ass, but first I gotta take this guy somewhere. I gotta transport some stuff first, Master Bruce.
before you get in the car, we have a set of rules.
Rules.
Yeah,
Where we're going, we don't need.
did you guys get a smile when Alfred threatened Tommy Elliott?
Yes.
yeah, that was pretty badass. I mean, it's weird what they're doing with him, but from a comic standpoint, it's kind of like what the fuck. But from a storytelling perspective on TV, it makes sense. I think it makes sense.
I think this is the best character development we've seen for Bruce yet. In terms of the whole show, sort of his parents died.
Because think about like what sparks. Okay, obviously his parents being dead and him wanting to get justice and all that. Like what sparks him to want to learn how to fight to begin with, and that's where obviously we know the stories. He eventually learns from like Ra's al Ghul and shit. And
Oh, that's
you know,
invented. Henry
that- which
Ducard
was-
was someone who did train him, though. He was a trainer.
right. But the point is, like,
Thanks,
he gets
Matt.
some training, you know,
What?
when he gets older, not when he's younger. And they're now doing this different spin on it where now he's getting the training and the ideas early in his life, you know, like literally right after his parents died.
Because
And
I think
it's,
did Black Shiva train Batman? I don't remember.
Only when his back was broken and he came back.
Okay,
his back,
that's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay, I know she was involved somewhat. I know Henry Ducard was someone who trained him. There were a
Yeah.
couple other people who trained him too, because he knows like various forms of martial arts. Some say every
Yeah,
form. I
Ducard.
don't know how
That was, wasn't that funny? They used his
20-something
name,
plus
Ducard.
different
Yeah,
styles.
and considering Henry Ducard was only used maybe like a fleeting number of times, he's really an obscure character to use. But they use some obscure names in the Dark Knight movies.
Yeah,
Like they threw John Daggett in there. Daggett,
Daggett,
only
yeah.
existed in the animated series.
The animated series,
And they
right?
used him. I'm like, whoa, what a little Easter
Yeah,
egg
no.
for the animated people. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So overall, I give it a passing grade. What about you guys? Did you guys enjoy it,
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, I did.
John?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to Arrow
Yeah.
and Flash. Now,
I tell you what, man, I'm so blown away by both these series, man. It's like finally they're doing it right. They're like saying, guys, we're sorry. We know Smallville had a lot of ups and downs, but this is like their apology letter.
Downs, an ending that
Yeah.
pissed off
That-
every fan
yeah,
of the show
this
since
is
that waited
what-
10 years to see
listen.
something that didn't happen.
Yeah, Arrow and Flash combined is an apology letter for Smallville, pure and simple, and it's, I mean, Arrow. A lot of people were kind of skeptical. I really wasn't at the beginning because I knew there was bigger things coming. And in the beginning of Arrow, like the first 2 seasons, you really kind of have to like be optimistic and get through it, because once you get to the 3rd season, holy shit, that's when things get really awesome. And that's when the Flash comes in, you know, because the 3rd season is also the same as the 1st season of the Flash, which was this year. And I mean, I'm just, what, Matt, what you're
right.
again, you're doing the huff and puff
No,
and
I'm
shit.
not. That's
Go ahead.
because I'm burping and trying to burp into the microphone. Arrow.
But you got something to say.
Arrow, I mean, I recently started watching it during season 2. I watched back episodes to get caught up. But Arrow to me at the beginning was okay. I really kind of enjoyed it. I like the guy who plays Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
I like him quite a bit. I like John Barrowman as the villain in season 1. He was entertaining. I kind of didn't like his family too much, especially his sister. I wish she would have gone away. She was annoying.
She's not going away. It's
I know. And Laurel was a complete waste of space for the first season. Completely.
Yeah.
She was
yeah.
useless. She was the most useless character in the whole show.
Like, if you would have known from the comics that Laurel eventually becomes
this
Black
bitch is gonna
Canary,
be Black Canary.
yeah, you would never guess.
Because they already said she was eventually. You know, she's the beginning of the Black Canary story. And,
Yeah.
and let's just go over individual seasons. John, how much of Arrow have you watched?
None. I can't stand the camera, the dark, overly gritty. I find the costumes ridiculous. I think the concept of the show is goofy. Green Arrow was created just to have a same colored sidekick for Green Lantern.
And
All in all-
communist.
Yeah, all in all, the comics didn't overly appeal to me, and every time I tried to watch the show, I hate to say they take themselves too seriously, but it's just, if maybe they could turn on a light somewhere to film it, I think it'd be a little bit better.
Yeah, they changed the shooting
wanted-
style midway
they
through season
wanted
1.
to make, honest to God, they wanted to make the Arrow seem, Oliver Queen seem like he's almost Batman in a way, like
he
he's
is the
very
goddamn
dark.
Batman.
But honestly, he really is kind of like Batman in a lot of ways. He's a contrast of what would happen if your parents died, but it happened in a later
what
age.
would happen if his parents died?
Because what would happen if Bruce Wayne's
Shoot
parents
arrows.
died when Bruce Wayne was a teenager instead of a young kid? You see what I'm saying? Like, what if? And that's kind of the contrast. Like, yeah, they're very similar in characters, but
Yeah.
he doesn't use fear. Green Arrow uses his ability to, well, obviously
Shoot somebody
shoot
with a
arrows
giant
and
pointy
shit.
object.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no one fears an arrow.
Nobody feels arrows,
You
but I
failed
think-
this city.
You failed this city. That's like his big opening thing every time when he meets an enemy.
That's the news.
God.
Swear to me.
Yeah, John, that's what he says in every episode. He's like, "You failed this city."
Well, early in
That's like
season
his-
1. But season
No, he
1,
still does it. He still does.
Season 1 mainly dealt with him being a vigilante and actually right up murdering people. And the first season, I really thought he was nothing more than a low rent Batman.
Yeah, that's how it came
His
off.
family was annoying. I enjoyed the show because I could see it had potential, so I wasn't ready to turn it off. But
Yeah.
to me, it seemed like they wanted to make a Batman show, but they couldn't make Batman, so they said, we'll just do Green Arrow.
Yep.
And that's really what it felt like. I mean, come on, most of the villains that the Arrow is fighting are Batman villains.
They were.
I mean,
yeah, they were
we
villains.
don't see many. I don't even know who the hell's in the Green Arrow's row gallery. Do you guys?
Yes, I do. You've got Mirror Master. You have
That's Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, To be honest, that's why it makes sense why the Flash was
All
made.
Arrow has ever done was
They were kinda psychics.
so and so's visiting Star City this week or this issue. He's the guy that Flash or Green Arrow's gonna fight.
Well, see, because you need to remember something. In the comics, Star City
and
and
Roy was
Central
doing
City
coke.
are
That
right
was
next
about
door to each other. They're like near each other. They're not that far. And there's a reason for that, and that's why there was a lot of crossover comics between the Flash and
No, there
Green
wasn't.
Arrow.
The big crossover
Yeah, there
was
was.
with Green Lantern and Green Arrow. Hell, there was a comic called
No.
Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Matt, there was a lot of issues where both of them did stuff together, where they fought,
I
a
must not
vigilante or
remember
something.
those. Because I remember a lot of the
There
big
are.
Green Arrow, Green Lantern comics, and like Green Lantern's like mystery, I'm a good American, and Green Arrow's like, I'm a communist. Fuck you.
Well, listen, let's be honest, okay? Green Arrow, as a whole, for anyone who's a comic fan, is going to be bad for them because not a lot of people like Green Arrow. Nobody really liked him to begin with. So for them to choose this outlet to start with,
He's like the bottom
it was
list
hard
of
for
the
people to catch
A-lister.
on.
The only
Yeah,
A-lister lower than him is Aquaman.
Yeah, and honestly, I hate to tell you, but I think they would have done a better Aquaman series.
They did an Aquaman series. It didn't get past pilot. Have you
So-
seen it? And
Yeah,
the guy
but
who played Aquaman played Green Arrow
Yeah,
in
Oh.
Smallville.
yeah, I know. But my point being
It
that
was a Smallville
it's-
spinoff. It was bad.
the season one was, to be honest, it kind of sucks because season one really gave it was kind of going in the direction that a lot of people were expecting, and it threw people off. A lot of people, like John, just tuned out after first few episodes
Yeah.
because it was like a low rent Batman.
Season 2, I loved.
Yeah.
They introduced Deadshot,
Deadshot.
Slade. Deathstroke. Sorry, God.
They did introduce Deadshot as well.
Yeah, well, Deadshot was in season 1, but
Yeah.
they used they can see you. They used Deathstroke. My wife. Deathstroke was really good. I like they introduced him into it. The guy who played Deathstroke did a very good job. John, you missed out on that, unfortunately. He was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
He was probably the best live-action Deathstroke I've seen, considering the other alternative was Colonel Ty from the Battlestar Galactica remake.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. Yeah, he did a good job as Slade. Honestly,
Yes.
he does a good Slade.
But again, Slade Wilson is a Teen Titans villain. He is not a Green Arrow villain.
True. True.
Green Arrow, I think, at the moment, is most popular for going out with Black Canary.
That's
Yeah.
all he's known for.
Yeah.
He's the guy banging Black
Oh, yeah.
Canary.
Yeah, he's big Black Canary's play toy.
Speaking of Black Canary, so we meet the first Black Canary, which is Sarah's. Oh, spoilers, by the way. We meet the first Black Canary, who is Laurel's sister, who
Laurel's
supposedly
sister.
died on the ship when it went down, where Oliver got stranded on the island. Played by or as I like to call her, Ass Chin, because she's got a
Ass-chin,
dimple
yeah.
in her chin that makes it look like it's an ass.
Thanks
Apparently,
for the
Black Canary
explanation,
was
Matt.
the
Appreciate it.
original Black Canary was trained by the League of Shadows. Apparently, is a lesbian, and is is hooking up with Nessa Al Ghul, who is the heir to the demon. So I guess Talia doesn't exist in this universe.
So the only thing that right now they have going for them is martial art training is Ra's al Ghul. That's the only trainer in the current DC universe.
No, because Deathstroke trained Oliver now.
Not exact. Well, see, here's how it worked. Okay, in the first season, and they covered the rest of it in the second. You learn that Slade teaches Arrow a lot of his fighting abilities, like to start with,
Yeah.
how to fight. Then
Deathstroke wasn't a bad guy to start with. He was a secret
Windwalker.
agent.
Yeah, then Windwalker, which is the daughter of the guy who inspired him to use arrows. Now I'm forgetting his name.
Shadow was the chick.
Shadow, thank you. Shadow and Windwalker is their dad, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that. Anyway, yeah, so they kind of teach him how to use the arrow part, and then when it gets into the latter part of season 2, it's it's, we find out that he's going into season 3. He's also trained by the husband of Katana, which we know Katana is a future character that gets entangled with Batman a lot, and again, more Batman references.
Of course, you got to borrow from Batman's Rogue Gallery.
Yeah.
He has the best Rogue Gallery in comics.
Because Amanda Waller, towards the end of season 2, becomes involved. You find out that she's, spoiler alert, it's probably too late now. She's, well, if you have to know spoilers, I mean, come on, catch up,
I already
goddamn.
said spoiler alert.
Yeah, thank you. But Amanda Waller, you find out towards the end of season 2 that she pretty much recruits and gets him off the island, and that's the whole catch, is that he actually wasn't on the island all 5 years. That part of those years, he actually left via Amanda Waller, and Amanda Waller is forcing him to become an assassin for her, for hire, which is a prelude to her creating Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Like, this is the trial version of Suicide Squad.
Season 2 saw us the introduction of Roy Harper, who would become Arsenal. They kind of did the, and I'll give them credit for this. They did the Roy is hooked on drugs storyline.
They did.
But instead of him being hooked on coke or China White, or China Cat, I'm sorry, as he'd like to call it. Instead of him, snorting coke and snorting his brains out, he instead got hooked on super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you have to get hooked on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was hooked on a super soldier serum and killed a cop, went freaking nuts until they found the cure.
Yep.
I like the guy. I like the fact they skipped Speedy and went straight to Arsenal. I'm fine with that. Or Red Arrow. I'm sorry, Red Arrow. Actually, what does he go by?
Yeah.
Does he go by Red Arrow or Arsenal?
No. Well, he does. Here's the thing, okay, and this has to go in. I have to. Well, hold on, because they don't really address it until you get to season 3. And season 3, and as a matter of fact, in the very last episode, I won't give too many spoilers because I know you guys haven't seen it yet, but basically it's the first time where there's a conflict between Oliver and him, and he talks about how he's his sidekick and that they're getting along, and he mentions as a joke, he's like, Red Arrow, now that sounds good, but Arsenal, that actually, and then he mentions Arsenal as a name, and so from this episode,
Robin, we'll name you Robin. Oh wait, that one's taken.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I thought I was Batman there for a second. I'm acting like him.
But it was funny because they mentioned the way the story, if I can remember exactly, Roy mentions, well, I guess you can call me Red Arrow, and he's like, no, I think Arsenal sounds good. Because he had an Arsenal weapon, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. But
and then they went to Roy and him being hooked. And the season ended with them pretty much setting up Suicide Squad. They locked Deathstroke in a prison.
Oh, and also you find out that Merlin is alive. He wasn't killed. Because part of the big end of... Yeah, the big thing at the end of season 1 is you thought that the Arrow killed... Merlin. Well, it turns out he's alive, and not only is he alive, but part of the big thing about the end of season 2, besides setting up Suicide Squad, actually this was the biggest plot of it all, more than Suicide Squad. It was actually the death of his mother being killed by Slade as punishment. But on top of that, his sister finding out that her mother was the same mother as Oliver, but her father was actually Merlin.
Yep, who was the Black Arrow.
Yeah,
who was also trained by the League of Shadows.
Which he was also trained by League of Shadows. He's actually considered one of the top trained by the League of Shadows, and at least in comic lore as well.
And then we go to season 3.
And then season 3. Yeah.
Okay, so far we're just in the beginning of season 3. The first character they introduce, Ray Palmer, played by Brandon Routh.
Yes, which is awesome. The Atom.
Now, what did you... Now, most of us agree that Superman Returns sucked, right?
Yeah, I had a small spot for it in my heart, but all in all, it was just a terrible...
Mario, Superman Returns, what'd you guys think?
Yeah. Okay.
John?
It was bad.
Yeah. But what did you guys at least think of Brandon? What did you guys at least think of Brandon Routh, at least?
Yeah, he's a good actor. I mean, Dylan Dog, hello?
I liked him as Superman. That was the only good thing of that movie.
Yeah,
Well, it was hard to see him behind the makeup.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, behind the makeup.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But I mean, Brandon Routh does ooze charisma. He really, really does. And him being Ray Palmer, I enjoy him being Ray Palmer. In fact, he is the new reason why I'm watching the show. He is great as Ray. In fact, I watched the show for other characters other than the Green Arrow. Last season, I watched it because I liked the guy playing Deathstroke. This season, Brandon Routh as Ray Palmer. He steals every single scene he is in, and just shows up everybody like, "Hey, I got like shit you guys don't got."
Yeah, really.
He is entertaining as all hell. The villain this season we haven't really seen too much with. They killed Ashen. So, yay there.
Yeah, they're still trying to... They're starting... Just in the recent... Spoilers, okay? Just in the recent episode, Roy believed that because he was still having side effects, even though he had the cure, they had side effects from the Mirakuru, which is what they call the super soldier drug, that he may have killed... not Laura, but may have killed the Black Canary, okay? Sarah, thank you. Then he may have killed her. That he did it. He started having dreams of him actually doing it, but it turns out that it was actually a memory that Oliver helped him forget about, which of him killing a cop. The scene where he kills a cop and they both witness it, and the fact that he looks up and sees that not only Arrow saw him, but Sarah, somehow his memory combined the two together, making him think he killed Sarah and not a cop. Yep. And so that's how kind of things get kind of mixed up, and he eventually, like, that's where the whole Arsenal discussion comes up about him naming himself. But yeah, it's crazy because you get to see so much shit happen, like in the very beginning. All kinds of stuff happens.
But we're also going to see Laurel begin her training with Wildcat, which Wildcat's a pretty, somewhat obscure DC character, but he trained a lot of Justice League members. And she's going to train to become the new Black Canary, which apparently is going to happen real soon because... Yeah. Let me send you guys the link.
Yeah, I saw the picture of her.
This is what she's going to look like, apparently.
Yeah, looks pretty good. A little too bony for me, though. That's the only thing. It's kind of hard
to... That's what Carla said. You know,
yeah, I agree with what Carla said.
Can we get a superhero with a super heroine with some bone, with some,
with some meat on her
bones? Yeah. I'm just saying. Bone Saws ready?
Oh, sorry. Jesus, you fucker.
Got you for 5 whole minutes of pain.
I almost just sort of feel as if, CW, or I sort of feel as if they're kind of like, well, we don't want to be too cliche-ish, or we don't want to be too, she's very voluptuous in the, in the comics, but there's, but the
part also banged Batman in the rain in costume on a pier.
But yeah, you think, there's not that many women, who have that perfect.
The less said about All-Star Batman and Robin, the better.
Oh yeah, seriously. But
I agree. A little more.
But one other key plot point that they're also exploring in the beginning and up to the current episode is that you find, at the end of the second season, Merlin, we find out's alive. Thea is her name. That's the sister of Oliver Queen. By the way, the nickname Oliver gives her, and you ready for this, is Speedy. He calls her Speedy. He's called her that since she was a kid. Now, that being said, here's what happens. Towards the end of the second season, we find out Merlin's alive. She's distraught. Merlin shows up to say, hey, come with me. They disappear.
Come with me if you want to live.
Check, yes. So they disappear, and then, of course, in the third season, you find out that Thea... that her dad has been training her. That she said, listen, I want you to teach me how to fight. And then he does.
Shit. I know who she's going to be.
She's going to become Speedy.
No.
Or
she's going to be Cheshire.
No, I don't know.
She's going to become Cheshire.
She might, because let me explain why. Because she might become Cheshire because of the fact that she decides to rename herself by Amelia Merlin, which is... I think it's Amelia, the first name. But anyways, she takes on the last name of Merlin, which basically insinuates that, yes, Cheshire, exactly, that she might become Cheshire. But the funny thing is, her being called Speedy by her brother all these years kind of puts it out there that maybe in the possible future, because she has all this training with the arrow, training with the sword, that she's getting really badass because of her
She
dad
gonna be like the
teaching her.
female Speedy and get AIDS.
Well, who knows? But the point being, she's
That should happen.
this kind of side plot that's kind of lurking out there that, you know, and also the fact that she knows her brother is the Arrow, but Arrow doesn't know she knows. That's the other twist. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what they're doing there, but I think it could be a setup for her becoming Cheshire, possibly in the future, maybe even becoming Speedy.
Considering that
Like a female Speedy.
Considering that she's Roy's love interest, it's more likely she's going to be Cheshire, and that
Yeah.
probably means they'll have a daughter. Roy will get hooked on drugs, and then the daughter will die, and he'll start hallucinating crazy batshit things like his daughter being alive. Blaming, oh god,
If
I
they
just
follow the
remembered some
comics,
really
that is.
bad comics.
If they follow it.
Actually, I think his daughter's alive in New 52.
I don't remember. I haven't been, well, you know, I haven't been reading a lot of the
I
New
don't read
52.
New 52. But switching gears, during season 2, we introduced to Barry Allen, pre-Flash. At the end of the episode, at the end of his last episode, the accident occurs with I guess it was a particle accelerator, malfunctioned and caused him to become, well,
Flash.
the Flash.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Flash so far? It's only a couple episodes, or only like a handful of episodes, I think 5 or 6. What do you guys think so far? Chris, what do you think?
Well, I gotta say, man, it is the most accurate transition from comic to anything that's ever been done thus far. Because, first off, they're not afraid to address metahumans. They're not afraid to say, you know, it's okay to have crazy superpowers, and that it could have, you know, there's not this infatuation with making every comic show about, it has to be more realistic for people to understand. It's not about that at all. It's about telling a good story. And it really literally is, so far, is following the Flash's storyline like dead on. It literally is from Beginning to current, and I'm reading all the stuff about
since Barry
future
Allen
episodes.
started?
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
the Jay Garrick one.
oh god, Mr. Specific. Okay, yes, since Barry fucking Allen.
No,
Yeah,
Wally
the one
West,
that most
motherfucker. No.
Yeah, Wally West. Anyway, we're not talking about future Flash. Anyway, so, you know, again, I have to say, and if you guys, like John, I'm assuming you haven't watched them.
I actually have.
Have you? Oh, what do you? I got to hear what you think, buddy. Because what do you think, man? Do you agree with me, or what do you
I
think?
actually like it. Flash is usually a good side character in shows, so his storyline has a little wiggle room because there have been so many different Flashes, so there's a lot of different origin stories.
And
so they
time
have
travel
room to
involved,
mix.
by the way.
And Bart.
Yeah. Yeah, timey-wimey shit has gotten involved a lot in his story, so yeah, it definitely...
You know, what do you guys think between this one and the 90s show?
Oh, hands down, this is way better than the 90s show, man. That 90s show...
I would hope this one's better.
The 90s show was kind of more... Let's take the comics, let's literally, like, copy it word for word, and it just came off really bad, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like the series.
I used to like it.
Yeah, I watched it. I actually watched I downloaded all of the episodes, watched them.
It was, at the time...
I know it was good
Other
for the
than
time,
maybe I'll argue Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
The closest transition from comic to small screen we had at the time.
That's
that
true. I'll give it
worked.
that. I'll give it that. It's just hard
John
for me to
Wesley
get over
Shipp, who is in the Flash playing Barry's dad,
Yeah.
was a very good Barry Allen. I really liked him as the Flash.
I was so glad that they put him in the Flash new
Mark
series.
Hamill's the trickster.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Okay, let's talk about villains. Okay, they're getting They're getting
They picked
his.
a superhero who actually could use his own villains. Holy shit!
dude.
They don't have to borrow.
They
from
actually
Batman.
have all the fucking. The only villain that they haven't introduced yet, or even hinted around at yet, is Mirror Master. Other than that, Boomerang is coming soon. Even Rainbow Rogue. By the way, that's the name of the guy, Rainbow Rogue. he actually is in a crossover, which, like I
Gayest
said,
name
they're
ever.
out there between where Flash and Arrow team
Okay.
up. He's a bad guy that they both fight together.
Breaks right
He's
here.
a-
Breaks right here. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to say something.
Okay.
Too soon. You want a show like this to stand in its own and not have to rely on cheap gimmicks to maintain viewership. There should be no crossovers with Arrow, at least for 2 seasons. You need
I
to
agree.
let the show establish
Yeah.
itself on its
Yeah.
own, because when you force crossovers too soon, you're making people feel like the show just doesn't have legs. You don't instill confidence in the brand, and Star Trek: The Next Generation. You know how hard they fought to have Spock show up in that show, or Scotty, because
For that one
Roddenberry.
episode?
The only reference we ever really had in early seasons was when McCoy showed up in the pilot. After
Yeah.
that, they made no references to the classic era, really, because they're like, we want this show to stand on its own and be its own thing. Flash needs that. Don't
I
rely
agree.
on Arrow. Don't tie it into Arrow. Let it be itself, because you know what? If you want real gritty, real-life superhero crap, go watch Arrow. That's why Arrow works. That's why
But you know what,
Arrow
though?
exists.
I think you're jumping the gun a little bit, and let me explain why. Because the way I'm reading it, yes, they're doing a crossover episode. It's literally the 8th episode in the whole season. First season is a crossover episode. But listen, though, you got to understand something. It's more of a, from what I'm reading, and I guarantee you this is going to happen. This is going to be more of a conclusion to what started where Barry Allen was introduced in, in season 2 of Arrow, and this is just like the conclusion of the relationship, at least for now. I'm almost
I
promise you that after this, there will be probably no more crossover episodes for a long
I don't know. I thought
time.
it kind of ended in the pilot when Oliver showed up and said, "Hey, kid, do your own thing," and he went off.
No, but think about it for a second. Their relationship. You haven't seen the new episodes of Flash yet, where Felicity Smoke goes visits the Flash. Okay, see that episode, then you'll understand what I'm saying.
Right.
There's still relationships still there
Yeah,
between
yeah.
Flash and Arrow. This crossover episode, I guarantee you, is the conclusion of that relationship, and it's gonna. I guarantee you, it's gonna end on Arrow saying "good luck." Flash will be like "good luck," and that's gonna be it.
If they close
So
the
you're-
book on it being a spin-off, at least for now, you can do some little universe tie-ins. That's fine, but
Yeah.
don't make it like like John said, the Marvel movies.
Yeah, the Marvel movies,
let
yeah.
them stand on their own. Let them be something itself, because Flash is where you go for metahuman stories, like you said.
Yes.
Arrow's where you'll go for the real nitty gritty, even though they're in the same universe.
Right.
There's absolutely no Flash. From what I've seen in the first 2 episodes I've watched, that show can stand on its own relatively well.
It can very much. so.
There's a very good history there. You got, like John said, there's a ton of wiggle room,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
gotta get rid of the Science Squad. Though I'm really not digging them. They're actually and oh, by the way,
But Matt, the thing is, Barry Allen does interact a lot with Star Labs.
I know.
the
I
beginning,
just
so-
I hate the pretty scientist cliche. I really a trope. I really freaking do. Let me tell you right now. I have never seen I'm not gonna be a dick. Oh, I'm gonna be a dick. How many PhDs, scientists look like freaking supermodels?
Hardly none. Most of them don't.
I've seen some that look pretty good, but most of them are really deep into their work, and personal appearance not always.
It's basically saying most of them are like Amy Farrah Fowler from Big Bang Theory.
There you go.
First off, we
yeah.
don't talk about that show in any of these podcasts. That show does not exist. That show is geek blackface. I hate that show.
Yeah, exactly. Geek blackface.
I think John could agree with me on that. Big Bang Theory is terrible.
Yeah, I don't really like watching it.
It really, it's honestly, that's the best way to describe it. Blackface for geeks. It pretends to be this. We
Well,
speak for geeks. This is
like-
what geeks do, but it's
the
bullshit.
chick, the chick in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or something they call it agents of modeling. Or are the agents modeling agent from a modeling agency? Because that must be where S.H.I.E.L.D. goes to recruit.
Yeah, no, but we'll save
We'll
that
talk
for
about that
week.
next week. That's Joss Whedon right there for you.
Yeah,
But
but
I and the guy who may or may not be gay, I don't know. He reminds me of the dude from Hackers. The one guy from Hackers. But he a little too hyperactive for me. Yo, dude, that's totally awesome, man. Woo! You know, whatever. But aside from that, I'm really kind of digging it. They did the racial switch again by making Isis West a black, which I'm like, okay, so I guess that means Wally's going to be black now.
yeah, because eventually, you know, for those who don't know, ISIS, not ISIS, terrorist organization. Anyway, this is his love. That's the whole, I like kind of what they're doing with that whole love interest. Like Barry wants to be with her, but she kind of, you can kind of tell.
Seen that before.
I find it kind
right?
of creepy.
It is kind of creepy because they're technically
Basically,
brother and sister.
Exactly, and that's really messed up.
Yeah, they grew up together like brother and sister, and yet the father is okay with it. Like in the last episode, he brought up the fact that, he pretty much can see that he's always loved his daughter since, you know, he could start loving things. And the way he said it, it made it even creepier, to be honest with you. But
turn into a little kid and follow him around. But that is a little creepy. Yeah. I mean, because pretty much that is his sister.
But the interesting dynamic is her boyfriend, Iris's boyfriend, is Eddie Thawne, and of course, if anybody knows that name, what it means for the Flash lore, is that he could possibly be, in fact, Professor Zoom, also known as Reverse Flash. That maybe he came, or not maybe, but he did go back in time to kill his mother, which spawned the whole, you know, basically how the Flash became, how Barry Allen, why he became, you know, a CSI kind of guy, why he does what he does.
So, see, I kind of thought Dr. Wells would be the main doctor.
See, and you know, and here's the thing. Let's talk about that element. Okay,
He's
Dr. Wells. Dr. Wells is this secretive character. We don't know much about him. Supposedly, the next episode is supposed to give. He's going to actually talk. There's a face that comes out of the wall, and he interacts with somebody, and it's supposed to give us a bigger hint as to who he is.
Metron. I was right. He's Metron.
Me and Matt were saying he's Metron. Now, me and Matt were thinking it might be Metron. That's a possibility. It could possibly be Dr. Light. That's a possibility. Because here's the thing. I was thinking Johns at first, but then I thought, no, John never really traveled back in time.
He also right up murder a motherfucker either.
He wouldn't murder someone, right? Because that's not what he does. So it's trying to think of who could possibly be, you know, this time traveling guy who is so interested in the Flash and making sure he becomes the Flash. That's the weird thing about it. He's so obsessed with making sure the Flash succeeds, and yet the things he does seems very like there's two sides of the story.
Maybe he's Bart.
Maybe he's Bart. That's what I was thinking. That is the most realistic option, is maybe he's Bart from the future.
Because didn't Bart always time travel? I don't remember
he did.
Exactly.
Yes, he did.
John, can you confirm that? Did he always time travel, Bart?
He did for a while until he got stuck.
Got stuck, yeah.
But the thing is I think...
Speed Force, I mean. He got trapped in the Speed Force.
Hold on, sorry, my headset decided I don't need to hear anymore. No, the reason I was thinking is that the Doctor would be the Reverse Flash is because the Reverse Flash also has a very sick obsession with Flash.
Yeah, that's true.
Going back to the mother...
He's make it Bart. Flash.
Yeah. Well, make it Bart when he's going back and, you know, they're fighting in front, and obviously the mother knows who it is. Hence, get away, don't touch them, because you can't touch yourself. You're in your, you know, two can't occupy the same spot, whatever.
It's a paradox, right?
Right.
Yeah,
but then again, we also have hints that Flash was the Flash. It wasn't the lightning bolt. Because when he ran 100 miles away instantly.
Exactly.
Well, you know, if you did touch yourself, it could just be a catastrophe centralized to merely our own galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, in the DC universe, Matt, that's really a problem.
Or
what do they call it?
That's a quote from Back to the Future, actually, when Doc Brown said that.
Oh, you jackass.
He's like, it could create a time paradox that could destroy the entire universe, or worst case, best case scenario, it'll just be localized to our own galaxy.
Or you could just end up creaming your pants. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, it's the
I was gonna say something like that, but
there you go. You're reading my mind. But see, the whole speculation as to who Wells really is. I think when we find out who he is, you know, now that you mentioned the part, his weird obsession.
Wells, and he's a time traveler.
I almost forgot about his weird obsession. I remember he was obsessed, but I almost forgot because I haven't read Flashpoint. Was the last arc I read, and yeah, you really see like how weird the Reverse Flash is. How Professor Zoom is just obsessed with Barry Allen and everything to do with him, his family, everything. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he is in fact Reverse Flash. It would be an interesting twist because the way they're playing him off and having this other guy named Eddie Thawne, it kind of like makes you confused. Like, could that be really Reverse Flash? That he's trying to, you know, take his future wife from him that they were supposed to get together, and now it's not happening because he's, you know, stealing his cookie from the cookie jar. Or, you know, who knows? I think more realistically, it'll turn out Wells is Reverse Flash. I think that's
Do you think we're going to have a resolution this season to it, or is this something that's going to last the whole series?
No, it's going to be this season. I know for a fact.
Well, and we know, by the way, that Wells is from the future.
Yeah, we know he's from the future.
So we know he has time travel. You know he has fast regeneration because he was crippled, but he's walking around.
Exactly. Or he just faked it the whole time.
No, I think he really was, and then I think what John said is correct. It makes more sense that he legitimately was hurt, but then pretended to stay hurt for obvious reasons. You know, how would you explain all of a sudden you're...
kind of like, what's her name in, Dark Victory.
Did you stop making off references, you jackass?
No, the Batman comic where the crime boss
Oracle?
lady pretended to be crippled, and then she got up and she was secretly killing people and imitating the Holiday Killer.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely know what you're talking about, but they did something on the animated series.
Oh, God, they young crippled Barbara Gordon. What the fuck? I'm sorry, side tangent there. God, that pisses me off.
Yeah, I know. But
it's like giving Geordie LaForge eyes. You know?
Yeah, I think that yeah, you're right, John. I mean, all the puzzles kind of fit. All the the pieces of the puzzle fit. That he would be Reverse Flash. That's who he is.
So he's the villain of the whole series, probably.
I think he will. But here's why I know there's going to be at least somewhat of a conclusion. This is why I know, because they've already shot scenes where they leaked out pictures of Reverse Flash fully dressed, facing Flash fully dressed. They face each other, not in like they're talking. There's dialogue, so we know that he gets to have a conversation with Reverse Flash. So we know there's going to be some kind of conclusion. Now, what kind of conclusion it is it Reverse Flash? He finds out who he is. Maybe he goes back into the future again. Who knows what could happen? It's really up in the air. You know what would surprise the hell out of me? And think about this for a second, guys. What if the Flash decides to go, because they introduced the treadmill already. What if they just say, hey, you know, the smart genius, Indian-looking kid's like, yeah, what if we could use this to make the cosmic treadmill?
Let's be honest. I hope that's one thing they do leave out. That was always silly.
Listen, but let me finish. What if the whole ending ends in Flash, because you see the picture of him disappearing in 2025 or whatever it was. Right. What if the series continues on where he goes into the future and it's the future. It's the Flash from back in time, now in the future, and everyone thinks he's like the Flash from the future.
Oh.
And
If they stick to the comics, I forgot where Barry's been when he disappeared during Infinite Crisis. I don't remember where he disappeared to. Or Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't remember where he disappeared to. I know they brought him back
in a
recently.
while. I haven't read it in a while. I haven't
read
but
it in a while. But so I guess we all agree Flash is great, and John's indecisive or doesn't really care much for Arrow because he can't see what the fuck's going on.
Exactly.
I can see, but I don't.
Included.
If I wanted to watch something that was filmed like The Dark Knight, where no one can figure out how to operate lights,
It looked like it was
or-
shot with a cell phone camera.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Going all Blair Witch on us.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Why not?
they're-
The Gotham had a GoPro shot.
Let's put it this way: when you want to watch a TV show, and 9 times out of 10, the very first thing you do is close your blinds because any slight glare will throw off the whole look of the show. That's usually a bad thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's. I think. You want to go ahead and switch to Batman?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're going to go ahead and switch to the next topic, which we're going to talk about movies in film. And we decided this week we're going to discuss the fact that. Yeah, you go ahead, Matt, because this is something you're adamant about as well. This is like your shtick.
Age of Ultron. We had another preview trailer today, or recently released. Now, what do you guys think of Age of Ultron from what we've seen so far?
Oh, Matt, I thought we were going to do the Batman thing, but
sorry, change gears. Sorry, pulling things. Sorry.
fucking moron. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
put
this
you
week,
to sleep.
something that many of us have been begging for a long time has finally happened. Batman, the 1960 series, has finally been released on Blu-ray and on DVD, as well as digital platforms.
Yes.
There's a really cool Wired article, and they explain how they got the rights. It actually was a fan who managed to do it, and they gave no credit to this guy. And he's actually the guy that went to William Dozer's heirs and the guys who produced it that didn't own Fox's share and got them to sell their shares to Fox so Fox could sell their share to Warner Brothers. Because rights were spread everywhere.
It was
for this
everywhere.
show.
It was a mess. Yeah.
And now, Batman 66, I think, is one of the shows. What do you guys think of Batman 66 as a whole? What do you guys think? John, start with you. What do you think of Batman 66?
I absolutely loved it, and as I told you before, when I was growing up, it was on TV. I didn't realize they were all reruns. And I didn't have many comics outside of Spider-Man. That was my initial introduction to Batman. And then I started reading the old Batman comics because, of course, I would. So I had the very old Batman comics. I went from the Batman 69 directly to the 80s movie as my jump.
Oh, culture
So-
shock.
I really loved the old Batman though, and even rewatching it, I love how cheesy it is. Him up there trying to scare people by waving that little towel around, and the villains freaking out about the giant bat. It's great.
Oh, you loved Brave and the Bold, didn't you?
No,
I thought you liked Brave and the Bold.
No, it's not like Brave
I
and
thought
the
you
Bold.
liked Brave and the Bold. You told me.
no, I didn't.
So
I think you showed
I
me the
like
one where the
campy.
Joker sings once. I thought. No, not
Yeah.
Beware the Batman. The Brave and the Bold one. The campy cartoon.
Yeah,
The campy
I
Batman.
like campy, but there's campy on purpose because they have nothing else to
Yeah.
go on, and then there's campy because society at a time said that was okay.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Chris, what did you think of 66 Batman?
Similar to John's story, how
think
I
all
got
of us were
introduced.
to Batman with the 66 series. I think
Yeah,
we all were
I
introduced
was-
at one point.
You
Mario?
know what? But mine's is a little different. Let me explain how this happened. So I actually got introduced by watching. It's so embarrassing.
Not
Super Friends, yes, Super
Ah.
Friends. Because I used to watch, for whatever reason, I don't know what channel it was, or I was always on, but maybe it was old WGN. Used to always show Hanna-Barbera
Yeah.
cartoons. But I would always end up finding myself watching Super Friends, and then I stumbled upon the Adam West Batman, and I loved it, man. I love that. I would watch that and the Munsters a lot. Like those are my two favorite TV shows between the in the 60s, like in that era.
Oh yeah.
And the thing I loved about it was like you had all of Batman's villains, all that kind of shit. And then when the shock factor when you realize this Batman is really not what Batman is, and just like John, I went and saw, the 89, Michael Keaton Batman, and find out, and then I started picking up the comics. My mom bought me a few of them, and seeing how dark Batman was really, and I was like, gosh, shit, he's not like cheesy or goofy by any means. No. And reading Death in the Family, that's the one I read that surprising my mom had good taste. She didn't know it, but she picked that up. And yeah, I was like, wow, this is not...
Mario,
yeah.
what did you think of the old Batman series?
That one was interesting with me too. I first watched was the Michael Keaton '89 film, and I mean even all the way up to
flipped.
Well, now, interestingly enough, with me, is that you'd think you'd watch that version, but then if you happen to stumble across the 60s version of the series and such, you think you're like, no, not for me. I mean, my background kind of goes with I've seen stuff that is indeed had lesser of a budget, like Godzilla and such, but yet what I did like about it was the comedy and the cheesiness was welcomed. I definitely say it was trying to be a comedy comic, I guess you want to say, in a way, and that's what I liked about it a little bit. It's still a little special for me. I think
the one thing you can say about the show is it is a live action comic book.
Precisely.
There is nothing about that movie that show that does not say this is a comic book.
Even the sound effects.
Yeah, even the sound effects.
Sound of
the boom and the bam and the pow. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it came straight from the pages of a comic. And it's you got like shows like Arrow, which are trying to be all real and gritty, where you go to Batman 66, it looks like an actual comic book how it's supposed to look.
What about his vehicles, man? The
motorcycle. Dude, I kid you not. I was talking with John on the phone yesterday. What was it? Wednesday?
Yeah.
And I'm driving through Lakeland. Some guy in the backwoods of Lakeland has a replica of the 60s Batmobile, and he had it parked somewhere.
Yeah, this was that same guy, by the way. I know he actually goes to the car show in Plant City.
Oh, I have to go this weekend. Tonight, this is car show night. I hope he's there.
Matt, I was heading to your house the other night, and stupid me cut through downtown Plant City, and there it was at the corner opposite of where your mother-in-law's shop is, just parked right there. And I was like, oh, shit.
Catch this guy. I hope he dresses like
But listen,
Batman.
you know what's better than the Batmobile, though, is the motorcycle that had the sidecar, and Robin had the little car that it could take off on its own. That shit cracked me up, man.
The Batcopter.
Oh, and then the Batcopter,
Oh, let's not forget it. I think Batman invented Viagra because he had a pill for everything.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, he did. He had a pill for...
or spray.
Yeah, bat repellent shark spray.
Shark spray.
And that
surfing on his bat surfboard.
Priceless.
Against the Joker, mind you.
Yeah, I mean...
Surf competition against the Joker.
Jesus.
I mean, okay, as cheesy as... If you have not seen the 60s Batman series, all right, because you've heard, it's cheesy, it's campy... You know what? Give it a shot. In all honesty, it is for a generation, for our generation at least. That was our pretty much, except for Mario. All of our introduction to Batman was with that show.
Not even so much our generation,
but it's
our parents' generation.
Yeah, even our parents' generation. Yeah,
everybody up until probably the Batman '89 movie and the animated series. All of us were introduced to Batman through that show. And people who diss that show, especially Batman writers, and I heard Kevin Smith talk about this once, they need to shut the hell up because that's where they got them into Batman. You have to show that show the respect they
deserve.
Not
only that, but you know what's funny about that, Matt? A lot of those same critics, if you ask them what introduced them to Batman, 9 times out of 10, guess what they say? Super Friends.
or Super
and they
Friends.
want to, and they want to criticize. And I'm like, I was introduced by Super Friends. Yeah, it's cheesy as hell, but it's along that same line.
What? As much as Batman 66 is still watchable, Super Friends is not.
It's hard to watch.
not.
The animation is terrible.
No.
The voice acting is.
It's not.
It's-
But Batman 66 is still, and I watched it recently. It's still very enjoyable. My son watches it. It is a good family show. It's still very entertaining. I highly recommend it. You got some classic characters such as Burgess Meredith, Mickey from the Rocky series playing the Penguin. Cesar Romero's Joker is still my favorite live-action Joker. I don't care what anybody says. Lee Merriweather as Catwoman. You got Frank Gorshin, who is the damn Riddler.
Oh, yeah.
Who, the only good thing about Batman and Robin was Jim Carrey trying to impersonate him being the Riddler.
Yeah.
It was for those eyebrows.
Yeah. You got Mr. Freeze played by multiple actors. You've got Vincent Price playing a villain called Egghead. Yeah.
Egghead, yeah.
Vincent Price is
That was
in
awesome.
it. The show is got star power. Really does have a lot of stars from the 60s in it. And the show is just entertaining as hell. Adam West is a great Batman. I don't care what anybody says. Adam West is a good Batman.
By the way, Adam West makes a cameo in Lego Batman 3. He's actually how they have missions where you can get the red brick and stuff
Yeah.
like that? You have to rescue Adam West.
Nice.
Like Adam West
Awesome.
in his little suit, and you hear him. What's funny is when you get near where he's at, he's like, hello everyone, this is Adam West, and he's kind of does
This is Adam
random
West.
thing.
I would have done this better.
It's so fun. Yeah, like he says random
Dude,
funny stuff that only Adam West
Best
does.
things is whenever they interview Adam West and ask him about the Batman movies, he's like, I never watched them because they should have hired me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, dude.
Can
And
you
he's
imagine
serious.
Adam West being in the '89 Batman movie?
Oh man, that would.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He'll probably have a better hairdo than Michael Keaton did. Michael Keaton was letting that hair get all over the place.
Well, the good news, he probably wouldn't have needed lifts in his boots either.
Exactly, because Michael Keaton's a
He's
short fellow.
guy. Yes.
Yeah. Poor Batman had to wear those like what girls wear a lot these days. The shoes with the lifts on them to make them taller. That's basically what Keaton was using.
Oh
He
yeah.
was using
Kinda
stripper
sad.
shoes.
Stripper
So
shoes.
in the
yeah.
end, I think everybody needs to watch this show. I if you don't get the Blu-ray sets, download it at least to watch it.
Yeah.
from
Blu-ray set
iTunes.
right now is $180. I'm
I will
almost
be buying
guaranteeing that it will go up, so grab it quick. It is. They did say it's limited edition, so there's only so many they're making. But yeah, I'm
Get your
gonna definitely
trinkets.
grab it. Yeah, I got to get my trinkets. Don't hate.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next topic, which we almost kind of fumbled and went there first, which is we want to talk about a film, specifically something that's coming up that would be related more to contrasting to the shows that we were talking about. And so since Age of Ultron is right around the corner here in about 5 months, we want to go ahead and talk about that for a moment. So
Let's do it briefly.
yeah,
There's not really too
briefly,
much to
because there's
say on
not
it.
too much to talk about, really, because, I mean, it's still months away.
Yeah.
We just finally got a trailer. What are your first... Let's start with Mario this time. Mario, what is your first impressions of Age of Ultron so far with the trailer and everything?
Well, with the first trailer, I just finished watching the second trailer right now. We're all talking
Yeah, after
here.
the second trailer, yeah.
Yeah, it still has me interested as heck. I mean, I'm just really want to see where they're taking that story with Ultron. I know Ultron's got a couple of different, Inception stories and such. I mean, it's kind of looking like Tony is either responsible for the,
He is.
for the whole birth idea of Ultron's idea, I guess here. So,
Dave said he is.
They said
Okay.
he is, yeah.
So I almost want to say, so this is like Tony Stark's Frankenstein in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
In some
That's
sort
a
of
good
little way. So
He has no shame.
I'm just stoked out to see where this is gonna go. I mean, I'm reading up on a couple more comics as you recommended, Chris, here, and I'm, it looks like Age of Ultron is, a good pivotal part in the story, but I know we're waiting for the bigger picture, after this movie and such. So again, it's just down to I'm just ready to see what they're gonna do.
Yep. And let's go to John. Let's leave Matt for last because he's always got a lot to say. John, what do you think, man? Because I know what you said earlier about the Marvel movies. What do you think about Age of Ultron?
Well, I think it's going to leave several questions unasked. Ultron's power source is an infinite power source. So, what is that? The metal is, amazing
that one
metal.
I can explain.
Let me guess. It's going to be the cube.
I guess.
Loki's staff will be the power source.
Yeah.
I see. So
Loki's staff is a power source. Yeah.
Apparently, that's okay. Well, of course, that makes sense.
And
Unlimited power in the guy's
the power is supposedly going to be one of the gems, the soul gems.
Yep.
The infinite gem. Yeah,
which
it's
is
supposedly
in Loki's
one of
staff.
them. It's in Loki's. So they're using. Yeah, no.
See, as I said, it just leads right into the next movie.
Yeah, it's all keeping you. You know what it reminds me of? Okay, everyone here, I'm sure, have seen National Treasure, right?
Yep.
You've seen
That's
National
the
Treasure.
first one.
You remember what John Hurt? I think it's what's his name? It's Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
No,
John
not Vince
Voight.
Vaughn, you fuck. John Voight. Thank you. I get names. I get them close, but not always. John Voight. Remember what he kept saying to Nicolas Cage's character the whole time? It's just a clue that leads to another clue and another clue, and it's going to go nowhere. That's kind of like
Shoot him again. His soul's still dancing. Oh, wrong Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
movie.
really. But that's kind of like what's happening here. And you're right, John. It's like it's just going to leave us questioning shit, and then we're going to have to wait for another movie.
As much as Marvel does do that, I think it's a cliffhanger thing to make you want to go to the next movie in the series.
But if the entire movie is about a cliffhanger, then
I think they've you know what? They fixed it. Captain America 2 isn't so much. It's a game-changing movie for the whole universe, but it really wasn't just saying it's just a placeholder to get you to to Avengers 2. It really wasn't. Neither was Guardians. Iron Man 3 seemed to me to be more just an end to Tony Stark's story until Avengers 2.
Hold on, guys. You know what I just realized? Okay, I just realized something that may make sense for all of us. Maybe not so much Mario, because Mario's just getting into comics more, but for us guys, especially John, you know how comics, they do what's called, it's known as a story arc. The comic, Marvel, DC, they pick a story arc, and it goes through so many issues from beginning to end, and at the very end, that's the end of the story, but there's always a little question kind of lingering that could lead to something else. Right. It seems like they're kind of fumbling in a way, because I see John's point, because it's almost like they're doing the same thing, but they're but they're inadvertently or on purpose leaving bigger questions to lead into other shit instead of just ending the arc.
Thor and Captain America, the first Thor and Captain America movies solely existed to introduce those characters.
Right.
They served as nothing else as that, and nothing
just origin
else
story
other than that purpose. Iron Man did not serve as a way to introduce Iron Man into the Avengers. It was an origin story, but it was somewhat of a standalone movie.
It was
Incredible Hulk was the same way as well. It was a standalone movie. It was with Thor, and even though there was a Tony Stark cameo, Thor and Captain America served as nothing more than ways to get them into the universe, so that way they can make Avengers. And that's what they did. But granted, I like Captain America. I think that's a really good movie. Thor, I enjoyed it, but I know it's a decisive film.
Yeah,
and
I'll have to agree with Matt on that one. Thor was good, but it wasn't one that really sparked my interest so much with him so much. Off the back, I already knew who he was already. Like, what else are we going to do?
Again, cute scientist. Really? Natalie Portman?
Okay, so listen to this. Now, I read some. I want your opinion on this, guys, because this is something I just read before we started the show. A person, I forgot what site, I accidentally closed it, but this person actually broke down all of the phases and concluded that each phase represents a pinnacle of one specific Avenger, and then everything's kind of based off of that Avenger. And what they said was phase 1 was Iron Man, phase 2 is Thor, or not Thor, I'm sorry, Captain America is phase 2, And Phase 3 is... No, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. Phase 1 was Captain America. Phase 2 is Iron Man. And Phase 3 is going to be Thor because of Thor Ragnarok, which if anyone knows about the Ragnarok and the shit that happens with Thor...
They've pretty much said... Feige has even said, the cast of Avengers will change after this movie.
It will.
So there is a very good chance that Avengers in this movie will not make it past Age of Ultron. So I take that to probably mean that there will be deaths. We know it's not going to be Tony Stark. That's the only... And Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
So or Captain America. So I'm guessing they're probably going to kill Hawkeye or Black Widow, because neither one of them got spin-off movies.
Or a purpose.
Sad. Well, especially...
I'm sorry, what was that, John?
Or a purpose.
Or a purpose, yeah.
Or a purpose, yeah, exactly.
Could be Nick Fury, but they've killed him once and brought him back.
Oh, they're super spies. Okay, great. Super spy and guy that shoots arrows. Alrighty then.
Yeah, the guy who shoots arrows is always the most interesting character.
Hawkeye's so for a little bit.
You could make a whole TV show about that if you wanted to.
Honest to God, yeah, I agree with John on that. It's like, can you make them any more less useless?
They will be the cannon fodder for Avengers 2. That will
more than likely.
You can't do that though, because they're the only people, so you can't make them a cannon fire. They're the ones who bullets can't hit. Did you see Black Widow taking out those aliens? Captain America was running around, just like an idiot. She was jumping up buildings to take things on.
Oh, yeah, she was, like, getting thrown up in the air, get that boost that Captain America gave her, and he's just, like, looking like, holy shit.
You mean like she was useful?
She's been eating her Wheaties, bless her soul.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. Too. Matt could be right, but at the same time,
I'll be honest with you,
I know who they're going to kill off, more importantly, is Captain America. No. And this is why I say that. No, listen. They already said they're doing the Civil War. Anyone who's read Civil War knows it concludes with the fallen sun. So why not that be like the big cliffhanger, and that Captain America does not return for the third,
Here's
Avengers
the thing with that. And I think we can leave it with that. They have not followed a single comic storyline all the way through. They've used it for inspiration, but they have never went to the end conclusion. They didn't do it with Extremis. They didn't do it with the introduction of the Avengers outside of Loki was involved. Because remember, the Avengers originally were formed because Loki controlled Hulk, and they had to stop Hulk from destroying New York. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Wasn't that the original?
That is Avengers the original. Story? Yeah, that was one of the original ones. There was two originals, but that's the original.
And they've never really followed any of the comic storylines at all. And I don't think they're going to do it with Civil War either, because it's not going to work that way. So I don't think it's going to end with Fallen Sun. I don't think they're going to kill Cap. They may replace him with Bucky, maybe, like they did.
Well, that's what I mean. I think they're setting it up to where Captain America will come back, but it'll be...
But in Age of Ultron, I do not think it will be Captain America. I do not think it will be Thor. I don't think it will be any of the A-listers. It will be someone on the B team. Just like when they killed Coulson in the Avengers and brought him back unceremoniously. I wish he would have stayed dead. When they killed Coulson, they changed the game a bit. They're going to do the same thing this time and probably kill, I am pretty sure it will be Hawkeye and or Black Widow. Maybe maybe even Banner. Because Hulk also doesn't have a spin-off movie in the works either.
Yeah.
The one we know they're not going to kill is Tony. And they're not going to kill Thor because he has a movie, unless they kill him and he comes back as a woman, which is still possible.
You mean like in the comics?
In the comics,
So
that's the reference.
I think that's a good segue to our next segment. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. And the next segment, what we're going to talk about is the prospects of future possibilities, you could say, of transition to film from the comics. Now,
we kind of did that earlier in the show.
We kind of did, but to be more specific, what out of everything that's going on currently in comics, okay, right now, there looks like they're revamping a lot of old stories. They had the last big arc for Marvel was Avengers versus X-Men, and
We're not going to do that one.
yeah, that would be very hard to do for obvious reasons. But I think the thing here to look at is
Oh wait, who won?
Avengers won, but basically everyone a lot of people got killed. Compliments of the Dark Phoenix.
Really?
No, Phoenix
No. They did not do that, did they?
Yes, they did.
The entire team of the X-Men became the Phoenix.
Became the Phoenix, yeah. The whole X-Men team. Everyone that was an X-Men at one point became a Phoenix.
Can we just go ahead?
Wow.
I want Jean Grey versus Scarlet Witch and see which one would win.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, yeah.
As long as Scarlet Witch doesn't make all the mutants disappear.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Scarlet Witch is... Yeah, anyway, House of M and all that.
Another plot device character.
Oh, goddamn.
She is plot device.
If you read House of M, that's another one I was telling Mario to read, because House of M, starting from there...
Was that the crap they kept promoting, John? We went to that con, and that was the only thing they talked about in the Marvel panel was House of M?
Yeah, if it was 2004, if it was 2004 and 5, then yeah.
They're like, if you think our books suck, read House of M. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, if it was 2005, because it came out in 2004, that was the big year for House of M. And House of M was supposed to be the aftermath of how Scarlet Witch it was involved with Geonosis or whatever, getting completely nuked,
then her
and
kid
millions
and she got pissed.
Yeah, because her kid was it's a weird story.
Did she have a kid with vision or some shit?
Yeah, the kid was artificially created, and she goes psycho, and basically Doctor Strange is like the only guy keeping her together barely, and pretty much the whole beginning of House of M. Not to go off topic. Well, this is on topic. I'm sorry, I forgot we're on this topic now. House of M in the beginning starts with the aftermath, but it's specifically about the X-Men and Avengers getting together to decide, do we need to kill Scarlet Witch? Is she dangerous enough? Should we just kill her, or should we approach a different way of handling her?
And Jean Grey and half of the Marvel Universe's problems would probably be solved.
You're right, to be honest. And the problem is, guys like Captain America are like, you can't kill her. Guys like Wolverine is like, let's just kill the bitch. Yeah, exactly. You remember.
Hey, look.
Yeah,
I want to do Jean Grey, so you can't kill her, bub.
Yeah, you can't kill her, bub. But yeah, it's interesting to see the conflict between the X-Men and the Avengers kind of started back then, and then eventually the Secret Wars happens, and then after that it leads into the Civil War, and then everything else.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, it's really not so Secret Wars. Let's be honest.
So let's do this real quick. What storylines you hope they'll leave the hell out of the movies? Are there any that you're like, they'll probably use, but I hope they never touch?
One More Day.
One More Day. Yeah,
I knew he was going to say that.
They better not.
Clone Saga. Leave the Clone Saga out.
No, you don't. They need to do the Clone Saga, because after that, no one can touch Spider-Man again.
That's true. That's true.
Field.
Honestly, and this is just for... Hey, John agrees with me on this. They need to do All-Star Batman and Robin.
They need to do that too.
Fuck you, they kind of are.
They need to bring Frank Miller on and say, man, go crazy.
They did.
Say, Frank Miller, we're going to pay you.
Frank Miller is a consultant on Batman versus Superman.
Tell Frank Miller, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and make a couple more movies the way you want it. And just let him go to town.
What's the one where Spider-Man had stingers in his wrist?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he got his powers from a spider totem or some crazy shit like that.
You know what's funny? When
damn it, Michael Straczynski, I like you as a writer. What the fuck, man?
It's funny when Stan Lee, Stan the Man, even takes the comic and shreds it and takes a picture of him shredding it.
Stan hasn't read a Spider-Man comic in decades. You know that.
Oh, I know, because he thinks it's all garbage. I mean, if you really probably asked him, he probably would tell you it's all garbage.
I don't know.
To be fair, nowadays it kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean,
what the fuck? This whole like the alternate universe Spider-Mans and all this. I mean, just Jesus Christ.
Spider-Man Doc Ock becoming Spider-Man. You could
Doc Ock becoming Spider-Man is just like
what?
to me. Yeah, Doc Ock switches bodies.
Don't worry. Peter got better.
Yeah,
boy.
Superior Spider-Man. Mario, look this up.
Superior Spider-Man. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
and basically Doc Ock takes on. He comes into his body. His mind is in Peter Parker's body, and wow, just
at least
be
he
prepared.
gets Peter a doctorate.
Yeah, he does. You're right. He does get him a doctorate, but at the same time, it's just like hard to wrap your hand around. Yeah, that's true. The money part. Jesus, man, that was so fucking wild. That story. I read almost all the way through it, and I just because I have Marvel Unlimited. And I have it on my tablet, and I look up all the issues that I missed and arcs of Marvel.
Oh.
And oh my god, that one was just the craziest shit I've read.
And Planet Hulk, don't make that into
Planet
a
Hulk?
movie, please.
No, please.
No.
They want to.
No.
Though. Didn't they say they hinted around they wanted to make Planet Hulk into a movie?
It was suggested, but they said
Like it was
no.
suggested? Yeah. It could
what about
possibly
World
happen.
War
in
Hulk?
phase 3.
No World War Hulk.
World War Hulk? You don't want World War? You don't want to see the Red Hulk and Red
That is the
She-Hulk
stupidest. No, just no. And I don't want to see. I do not want to see Superman splitting into the red and blue version of himself. That was fucking stupid. Or the one where he becomes all big and giant because he's absorbing all the solar cells because his cells are like supercharged and shit. That was stupid. Not All Stars Superman. This is a different comic.
Yeah,
but, pretty much every storyline from the Punisher comics. Don't even try it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
speaking
Every
of.
bad.
Oh man, speaking of Punisher. Did anybody? I don't know if anybody's been keeping up. Well, we're going to talk about Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next week, but I just have to say that when I was this last episode, one of the main characters, she calls a friend of hers, and they asked her what her friend's name is. Micro, and I swear to God, if it's Microchip, that's it for me right there, because I don't even know what to say at that point. If Micro is actually and if you don't know who Microchip is,
I don't.
He's the guy that works hand in hand with the Punisher, and he also works with other
I would watch Agents
of
of S.H.I.E.L.D. if Frank Castle showed up and was around, because then the show would get interesting again.
It would, because you would. What's his name? Coulson would be like, "Okay, guys, we're gonna take this one step." Frank Castle, click, let's go, motherfuckers.
Frank. They're like, Frank already took care of it. What? He killed them all. What?
He killed every one of them. Yeah, they're all dead. And he also stole Lola and took it for a joyride. Right, that son of a bitch.
What are you guys hoping they may adapt into a film?
I hope that they
either now or upcoming storylines that sound interesting.
They already did my idea, but I was going to say Inhumans, but we know it's going to happen. That was going to be mine.
John, anything you want them to adapt or think that would actually be ripe for adaptation? If done right, of course.
If they could do it well, I'd like to see Young Justice made into something good.
They're making it into a TV show for TNT.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so that's gone. All right, so the other...
Oh, dang, not even a shot.
Yep, that's gone. That's gone.
All the networks.
That's pretty funny.
Who was the one with the future Justice League? The with all the kids with the rings.
That's Legion.
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 There you go.
Captain
so
America.
Many freakish characters.
Sorry. Captain Planet. I meant to say that.
Captain Planet. Jesus Christ.
Close. He's probably a member.
Legion of Superheroes takes place like in the 31st century or some shit.
Yeah. Tons of CGI. Tons of big boom.
There goes.
We lost John.
I think he was saying big booms and shit.
Sorry,
I thought he was saying
you can have
boobs and shit.
Big boobs.
Big booms, big all sorts of. You can have Michael Bay direct it because he can't even screw it up because there's no real history. Every single character you could possibly imagine is part of their league.
But the cartoon
you have,
is so bad.
Roly Poly Boy. You have the person with the lightning on their chest, that's their name. You know, you have these freakish people. Every single person has this weird individual power. So you can make an entire series on it.
Like what's his name? Bounce Ball, the kid that Bouncy Boy, yeah. Yeah, what the fuck?
You can't get the characters wrong. No one can complain that you messed up the comics.
That's true, because it is pretty much out there. I mean, I've read a few of the comics, and it's really, like, even Superman is still around at some point, an old Superman, and he wears, like, that silver, I know there was different versions of it, but it, like, the silver, you can't even tell it's an S, he looks more like, kind of like a metal version of Superman or some shit.
And then you have
almost like a Cyberman from Doctor Who.
You even have Supergirl, depending on the series. So you can have the female leads if you want. It's just they can't mess it up. It has no one can complain about that comic to movie adaptation.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. That would make a good one. That's true. Legion of Superheroes, because then they can just kind of go nuts. And there's no. And it's not popular enough in comics to where people could... You're right. They could just say, oh, you're shitting on the source material. No one's going to do that.
Because they can always say, look, here's a comic that says what we said. But then you can make references to all the other comics. Tell part of the future story. You know, you could tie it into the other DC comics by saying, this is the time that Batman mysteriously grew older, stronger, better, and mentored Superman like some sort of freak.
or you could just be like the Ninja Turtles movie and say no one reads the comics anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
By the way, things they don't need to turn into movies. Anything related with Ninja Turtles. Just stop.
Just
stop now. There's no need to make
the cartoon is great.
The cartoon is awesome. Did you guys see that? Not to go off topic, but they've got Robert Englund and the dude who does the Crypt Keeper is making cameos. Voiceover in two of the episodes for Ninja Turtles. I was like, oh, sweet. What the hell is Robert Englund?
Did you guys see the episode where they actually had the 80s cast come back for a cameo playing the 80s Ninja Turtles?
Yes, that was so awesome, man. That was like the best episode ever.
The dude who plays Michelangelo did not age well.
No.
Totally tubular dude. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he sounds pretty rough. Like he does probably smokes a couple packs a day, Matt. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But alrighty.
Tubular dude.
So let's go ahead and wrap things up here with first off, recommendations. Does anybody have any recommendations for specifically
Batman 66? Get it this week.
What about you, John? Any specifics on? It could be comic. It could be shows related to comics.
Not really.
Not really.
Watch The Flash.
Yeah, The Flash from the '90s, right? Early '90s, the first one.
There you go. Or what was that American Superhero?
Oh, Greatest American Hero?
There you go. Something crazy and corny.
I'm walking on air. I never
Jesus
thought
Christ.
I could feel so.
What about Mario?
Ready for Batman?
Sorry.
Mario,
my most recent comic I finished reading, which I thought was really great. And thank you, Matthew, for definitely recommending it. The Batman: The Killing Joke. Yeah.
Oh.
One of the few things Alan Moore wrote that I actually like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it definitely sucked me in, man. Like a nice novel, like a good book. Man, that was great.
And my recommendation. My recommendation is go see Big Hero 6. It's definitely worth it. And also now the final thing of the night is just kind of before we get into the recap, just the reminders of next week. We'll be doing another episode, which we'll talk about. We'll pick two other TV-based comic shows, and we'll pick a different movie to talk about as well.
Next week will be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of
probably Constantine, I'm thinking.
I think we'll mention Constantine. Guys, I would catch up on that. There's only 4 episodes, I believe, now 5 today.
There may be only 10.
Yeah, I know. It's a good series. Give it a trust me, it's definitely like this is the real Constantine brought to life. Now, the other thing is, so just to let everyone know, for who's keeping score at home, what shows to check out. Now, Gotham, remember, comes on Mondays.
Yes, Monday
And
at
it
8.
comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern.
8, I think. I don't know.
8 o'clock. I'm looking at it, Matt. Shut up.
Okay.
I got the guide in front of me. Yeah, it comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern, or if you're just like most of us, just download it, then download it after it comes out. But it comes on at 8 on Fox. Let's see, on Tuesday, that's where you're going to get... Wait, that was the 17th. Okay, the Monday is the 17th. And...
This week on Gotham, Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, that's right. Harvey Dent will be on that one. On Tuesday, that will be The Flash. So anyone wanting to watch The Flash comes on at 8 p.m. on CW. And right after that, you can, if you want to watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that comes on at 9 on ABC. And that will have, there's more information about, it's kind of concluding this whole thing between Coulson and Hydra. It's kind of getting a little interesting, but because they just revealed what the markings he was doing is. It's actually a map of a city, which they're hinting around that the city might be Attilan, which is Inhumans. Which is I was
thinking it was a recipe for really good rhubarb pie.
Possibly, you never know. But yeah, The Flash. This next one will be a good episode, so check that one out. And then on Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday, yeah, that's right. Wednesday is Arrow, and that comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's also on CW.
It's also new.
And it's new, and it's going to be a great episode. It's going to be introducing, because Cupid was introduced at the end of the last one. Spoiler, sorry. Don't really care. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, Cupid is introduced towards the end of last episode, so you'll get to see more of her in this episode. And then on Friday is Constantine, which actually Constantine is actually going to come on it's already on right now. It comes on at 10 o'clock on Friday nights on NBC. Wait, is it 10 o'clock? Hold on.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's on next week. No,
considering the ratings, I don't think anybody knows when it's on.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. For some reason I was thinking it was 9. Yeah, it is 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern on NBC on Fridays. So you can check that out.
It is better than that shitty Keanu Reeves movie.
Yes, because Papa Midnight is even better in this. They have a lot of Easter eggs, like you saw Dr. Fate's helmet in the first episode.
I want Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, there was kind of a talk of that he kind of hinted around in the, I think it was second or third episode about Swamp Thing. There was an Easter egg.
They mention Alec Holland?
No, but they mentioned something about in the swamp. I have to go back and watch it again. But one of the episodes has an Easter egg. Yeah. It could be Grundy, that's possible, but more than likely it's Swamp Thing. Just because of the whole Hellblazer series and everything.
But the real Swamp Thing is dead.
I know, it
Dick
sucks.
Durock.
So yeah, those are the shows.
I love the old Swamp Thing movies, and I love the TV show. Screw all you guys.
Oh, and by the way, and yeah, it's an awesome series, but just to let everyone know, in case you're not aware, starting in the beginning of the year, Netflix will have Daredevil, so we'll get to see how that goes. To be honest, I'm not really optimistic on it, but some of the stuff looks promising. The origin story is more accurate. It's actually identical to the comics.
And Luke Cage, and I think
Luke Cage makes
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, yeah, both of them show up in different episodes. So that'll be pretty.
They're making series based on them.
Well, I thought weren't they doing a crossover with Daredevil, or is that?
Nope, they're making separate series. They're making 3 series.
Okay.
They're making Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage.
That's right. Okay, I was reading the same article. It had everything. It looked like it was saying they're all together, but. Anyhow, that's good. That means there's more comic to shows coming out, and just gives
more
us
shit for them to completely ignore the movies.
Yeah. I'm so glad they're ignoring the movies.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, exactly. But let's go ahead. First off, where can we find you at, Matt? Because we haven't heard that enough.
AdmiralJoker.com and 4TWNetwork.com. And
John,
on Twitter at Admiral Joker, because I will be tweeting.
Oh, Jesus, with Twitter. And John, where can we find you?
Nowhere.
He doesn't want people to find him.
Exactly. He's just like Carla's the same way. You don't find me unless I want you, and then if I want you, it's to kill you. But anyway, and Mario.
Facebook mostly, just Mario Benegas on Facebook.
That's right. For me, it's 4TW Network, and don't bother if you can bother me on Facebook. That's fine. Just don't piss me off, or I'll kill you in your sleep.
Just don't be a militant atheist.
Exactly. Wow. Okay, Matt, let's go there. Anyway, so yeah, for this episode of, I'm sorry, I'm like fumbling over words here.
Hold
on, my, give me a second. My throat's hurting like a son of a bitch.
You want to lead us out?
Yeah, go ahead and lead us out because my throat's like hurting. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm like coughing like.
You don't usually talk this much of the shows. Anyways, thank you for joining us for episode 1 of Sell the Screen. Join us next week where we're going to be talking about Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Constantine. Yeah, they're DC and Marvel, but I kind of got a weasel Constantine in there somewhere. They want to talk about it with Arrow and Flash, so it works. So be sure to check out our other shows on 4TWNetwork.com. We'll have 4TW Live later on this week. Be sure to watch us on Facebook. And we'll notify everyone at broadcast. For Chris Cardi Kovacs, John Kelly, and Super Mario Benegas, you have a good night.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
Good night.
God damn it. My throat hurts. Sorry, I was coughing.